Hi, everybody. How are you today? It's a Go Show. What you doing today? Everyone's welcome. Open panel. Everyone's welcome. It's the panel show. Hi, everybody. You heard of hard preach? Have you ever heard of hard preaching? This is the hard preaching you all been hardened for.
Calls people. God's doing the drawing, and God draws people unto him with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. You know, when I go out, you play it when you're like 5, and after that you say, I need something where I can actually control the outcome. We talked to this guy, and he was saved. First of all, the Bible says here, he called you by our gospel. Who's going to get saved is going to get saved, no matter what we do.
See?
I love
Hi,
this guy
Peter.
because I love this guy because he keeps it nice and cool. You know, Steve Anderson, he always keeps a nice level head whenever he preaches the gospel.
He's a
He's
crazy
never
guy.
yelling and screaming about how this and that is bad.
Yeah, like that time he jumped on the altar and started screaming down at
Only
me.
reason he could jump on it is because he's so freaking short. I mean, like, yeah, if I had legs that small, I'd be able to springboard up there too. But holy crap! I mean, like, I'm no Michael Jordan. Okay, I ain't even cutting 6 feet. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm definitely taller than that guy is. Holy crap!
Yeah, they're having a show today, the PGs. Evolution is a fairy tale. Prove us wrong.
Yeah, you know why they're starting to do more of those shows now?
Why?
Starting to do more of those shows because those are the only ones that ever get views.
I
They
know
never, they
tomorrow's a
whenever
grind. What?
whenever they read the scripture, and you know what? If any show deserves to get a whole bunch of views, screw their stupid evolution is a myth shows. I really do hope that those fail because it's just desperation on their part. The fact they're incorporating it as often as they are over there, even though like nobody ever shows up. And when they do show up, they don't even want to talk evolution. They want to talk theology. Anyways, I hope any show succeeds. It's Ryan's show. I really do because Ryan is down to earth. He's chill, and he does a good show. You know, he does a show where everyone is just chilling out and minding their own business, and it's only every once in a while that somebody tries hijacking his show and making it into something else. So I appreciate that one more than the others, but of course it's not the ones that are getting them attention. So you'll notice that Proverbs guys has been doing a lot more of those. Your worldview bad, my worldview good show is basically what I call them.
Oh. Uh, uh,
I have a question for you, Gangster Ghost.
okay.
You ever had a charcuterie board before?
Nah.
It's like a board and it's got like meats and cheeses and vegetables and well, not really vegetables. There's the occasional one that you can put on a charcuterie board that's kind of fruit-like, but it's mostly fruit
Oh.
that goes on there. I could spend a whole bunch of time putting that together before I work, or I can just be lazy and I can throw some ramen in a pot and then just like pretend like that is almost as good as that. Which one should I do? Should I do the good approach or should I do the lazy approach?
Both. Sorry. Well, sorry about last night, Aiden. I'm sorry about that.
I didn't even really. You brought it up, and I talked with you about it. And then after I talked with you about it, after you told me about it, I basically put it out of my mind.
Okay, that's good. You're a good young
Because
man. We're all proud of you.
the only reason why he would say things like that is because he wants me to be as worried about what he says about me as what I say about him. And it's just not true. It's not a reciprocal relationship.
Tim!
Yeah.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, I was actually jumping in because somebody was talking about cooking.
I am. So I have a
Mm.
choice, right?
Mm.
I've only got a certain amount of time before work, and I don't really have to cook with one of the options, but it's ultimately going to be more difficult because you got to assemble a lot more things together. So I could whip up a charcuterie board right now. I got all the ingredients, but it's going to take time. Or I could make myself just a, classic, the blue collar classic, the bowl of ramen, and just act like that's almost as good.
I mean, yeah, darn. I was gonna suggest like making a loaf of bread and just making yourself a sandwich, but it sounds like you're not in a position to do that. So
See, sandwich is an option, but we already have grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup planned for dinner, so that's like redundant. You don't want to like do sandwich 2 meals in one
yeah,
day, right?
yeah, definitely.
So I hear what you're coming from, but I think these are the two primary options. And I mean, like, I've also got taquitos and I could deep fry them, but I'd also like to stay below 300 pounds. So I'm trying to like not eat deep fried food all the time. I'm
Well,
trying to like to balance it out.
Right,
So,
right.
oh,
Do you
um,
do you make your own bread, Aiden? Have you ever tried it?
I have made my own bread. Now, we don't quite have, especially right now with we've got a whole bunch of my office supplies out in the living room right now because there's a bit of flooding in our office from the really heavy rain we've had over here, so we're just trying to get things replaced in there. But even under the best of circumstances, our kitchen isn't all that well equipped in terms of counter space and stuff. But when we get a better kitchen, I fully intend on doing that because we're still able to like spaghetti is a great example. We make our own sauce
Hmm.
and we make our own meatballs, but I would love to make my own spaghetti, but we just don't have the freaking room for it
Right,
because
right.
you have the pasta extruder. Bread is kind of a similar thing, unfortunately. You need a lot of space in order to make bread. So the
Yeah.
next place I get, we're gonna be breading it up. Don't worry about that.
There.
Now, the question is it going to be leavened or unleavened bread? That's the real question.
Yeah, the one I was good because I was gonna give you like a really easy recipe because I just learned it and it made it because kneading the bread and all that stuff is just it's too much for me. So I have this like really like easy anybody can do it bread recipe where it's so it's like 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of hot water. It's like above room temperature,
Right.
a 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of yeast. You put in your dry ingredients, mix them together first, add your water, and then mix that up until it's like a thick dough. Cover it and let it rise for 2 hours. After 2 hours, pop it down with a spoon, mix it up, put it in your pan, and bake it, and you got bread.
Nice. Nice. Well, that does sound like a good recipe, and I'll definitely, have to send it my way at some point or like that. I'll keep it in mind. But um, yeah, I definitely like making as many things as possible. Like I used to live in a house back with my buddies when I first moved out. God, that was like 3 years ago. Holy crap. Anyway, um, when I moved out, I lived with a couple of people that just ate out all the freaking time, and they were the kind of people that would eat out and just buy all these stupid, frivolous things, and then they'd always complain about how broke they were. And I appreciate them ultimately because they taught me a very important, valuable lesson, and that's if you just
Right.
keep thinking short term financially, you're gonna pay in the long term. So I like to make as many things homemade as possible because not only does it taste better, but God, your wallet really thanks you for it.
Right. Right. Yeah, because
You know, I've just really like I just get real giddy when it comes to I just really love to cook. It's like become a real like fun little passion of mine. I make my own buffalo sauce. I'll just like, you know, with YouTube especially, you have all these easy how-to videos to watch and follow
Yeah.
along with. Gosh, I just can't get enough of it. So I just
Well,
anytime I can give information to somebody, I'm just excited to do it.
I got a question for you about cooking. How do you like your steak?
um, well, man,
Now
medium.
let's clarify because people oh, you like it medium.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, medium.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm a rare myself.
Right.
I like it nice and rare, but man, I made this absolutely fantastic chicken fried steak the other day. Oh,
Oh, that
Fried
sounds
steak?
cool.
You
yeah.
fry like chicken?
Well, it's basically like a breaded steak is what a chicken
Yeah,
fried
yeah,
steak
that's
is.
right.
So
Yeah.
like, no, I should explain it to Gigi. So it's my mom has this recipe that's absolutely fantastic. She calls it minute steaks because it's so quick in terms of like the actual recipe itself. And I was
Mhm.
raised on that for you know that food that your mom makes for you that you just it's always gonna be one of your favorite foods just because you
Yep.
freaking lived on that when you were
Yep.
growing up. That's one of them for me.
Mhm.
So I've gotten it almost. I'm like, I'd say 85, maybe pushing 90% as good as my mom. I know I'm never gonna get 100%, but if I could like keep at that 90% level, I'm satisfied with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, of course, yeah.
Anyways, I do gotta get going and I do gotta make something, but I just wanted to hop on your show and just kind
Oh,
of
thank you.
wait for somebody else to come in so you weren't all by yourself, Gigi. So you have a good
Oh,
one,
thank
buddy.
you. Thank
Have
you,
a good
Aiden.
one, Tim.
You too, Aiden. See you, man.
Oh, Tim, have you ever
Yes,
heard
sir.
of Pastor Anderson?
Yes, I can't stand him.
He's a crazy psycho guy.
He's very wicked. Oh man, the amount of things Steven Anderson has said, wishing death on sodomites and stuff. I mean, that guy is. Ugh. I
Yeah,
just. Yeah. What's
he
up?
did tell people to kill himself.
Yeah, yeah, I know. He's the guy. I mean, I don't know. I don't. You know, I'm free grace. So I believe once someone has truly believed the gospel, regardless of how they live afterwards, which they should be living good for the Lord, don't get me wrong. But I believe if they had a moment of true salvation, then they're saved. But in Steven Anderson's case, it's really hard for me to say that he's like saved just based on how much of a jerk the guy is. And jerk is like the least of names
Oh
I could
yeah.
say.
I heard my old video. He's a crazy guy. He heard this time he jumped on the podium
Yeah, that was actually funny.
and screamed. Yeah, that was so funny. And there's that other one when he was Pope Anderson. Yeah, like the Pope.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy is.
Yeah,
Wasn't there one? He did a
he's
Rocky montage that I still laugh about to this day. He did. I think he was attacking Obama when Obama was president, and he was like
yeah,
show. He was like did a montage of him doing pull-ups and deadlifts and all this dumb stuff to like Obama as if it was like tough or something. I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah. I think I might have it. But in my yeah, he's not on. I don't think he's on uh YouTube anymore.
No, they kicked him off for good reason.
Found him. I found it. I can show you it. It's funny.
I am.
Him
I
working
am
out.
very curious if. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. I am very curious if Kent Hovind has ever denounced Steven Anderson because he really should.
Uh, Announce him. It was because of uh, it was because of his divorce, and Steve Anderson hates divorce, so
Right.
he turned on Kent over.
Have you seen the video of his son coming out and talking about how Steven Anderson abused his children?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, let me find it real quick for you. It was insane. You should some of the stuff that his son was saying in that interview. Let me see if I can find it.
Wow. You can share it if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it if I can find it. I hope the algorithm didn't push it down. I saw it months ago. Um,
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
where could it be?
Wow. Oh yeah, they got into debate recently, not too long ago.
Here it is. Here it is. I found it.
You know that Anderson and Hova, they got in
Who?
Ken Hova and Steve Anderson got in a debate with each other not too long ago. It was
What was the
crazy.
debate over?
Uh, I I'm not sure. It's kind of complicated. He Steve Anderson doesn't believe there's proof for a young Earth because he said the Earth was created as old. Well,
Oh, I
kids,
heard a portion of that. Yeah, it was something about the moon craters, I think it was.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I just linked the video in the chat. I don't know if you have to copy that link or what you got to do. But
Which one?
that's if you want to pull that up. It's insane.
Oh,
I mean, Steven Anderson literally took one of his youngest sons and like bashed his head on a window on a windowsill.
where is it? Isn't it in a private chat?
I no, I put it in the public chat. Oh, yeah, I'll just put in the private chat. My bad.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, look at this thing. This is crazy.
Wow.
You might have to skip around a little bit. The intro is the guy just doing an intro. Probably going to go up to about 7 minutes in. That should be pretty good. Where he starts talking about some stuff.
Doing the things they do and believing what they do. I can't speculate as to how Isaac's upbringing affected. Ultimately, little more than tasteless messages between teenagers with no real life experience. They were said by kids who should have known better, but
Go
there was
to
no
about
evidence the
7
horrible
minutes.
things said were based in anything aside from.
What do you say?
Go to 7 minutes in.
7.
That's where his son's on the screen.
Lupin's here. Hi, Lupin.
Lupin.
What's up? Just give me a second. I've my dad was asking me something.
Yeah, at the 7 minute mark, you see. I think I forget his name actually. Which son it is? Because Steven Anderson's got like what 8 kids.
Last I checked was 11.
It was a okay. Yeah, so he has quite a few sons. Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, I start the 19 minutes. Yeah, right there is fine.
How bad modern media is, how much
Course.
degeneracy and stuff there is on TV and film. What kind of stuff was available in the
All right,
household
I'm back.
for the kids to watch?
Oh, hi, Lupin. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. My back is just killing me, bro.
Oh, sorry about that. What
Yeah.
happened?
No, it's just being on this computer over here. Like it's just at a bad. It's at a bad level, and it's just screwed up my posture, man. Like bad. Like my neck is killing me, and it's not like somewhere where I could like it's not like I can pop it to like fix it. Like if it's like in my like middle or upper middle back, like I could usually twist my body and pop it, but it's like way up in my neck.
We sick of that,
Yeah.
Tim. Are you there,
What'd you
Tim?
say, Gigi?
Yeah, we sick of that. You ever get that problems?
Oh yeah, the back issues.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Sorry
a
about.
good. I'll tell
Okay.
you a good fix for that. If you're having like twinges in your back, get yourself a pull-up bar and just let yourself hang off it for about like as long as you can go.
That's what I'm thinking about doing is just going to the gym and just hanging around for a little bit
Yeah,
because that's what it's like. Everything is like compacted, so
yeah, you gotta
need to
decompress the spine.
decompress.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. No, that sounds like a plan, actually.
I do it
This
all the
guy,
time.
he thinks too many backflips.
Yeah. Not too many backflips. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, have you ever heard of Steve Anderson?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Uh, he debated Kent not too long ago.
I know. I was disappointed on that.
Yeah. Now I found out about his son coming out saying he was abused. Is
I
that
don't know,
crazy?
man. Some people have crazy, crazy things happening on in the background.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
this
know
this
any.
is pretty bad. The video we're about to watch, he's Steve Anderson's son really reveals a lot about what they went through in that household.
This is his son, the one with the hair.
No, not that one. He's going to come up in a second. That's the guy interviewing Steve Anderson's son.
Okay, I don't know how
I
I
was gonna say
usually
is
feel about these kind of things. Uh, it's just, it's kind of weird. But why is it? When was this? Like,
This was like before his son was 18. His son is now 18 and out of the house, and that's why he did this video with this guy.
Oh, eight
okay,
months
how
ago.
old is the video?
It came out about I think January of this year. It was
It
fairly
says
recent. It came out this year.
8 months.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Is that
all right.
crazy?
I don't know. We'll see.
maybe I probably shouldn't hike. I might just sit here at the trailhead to talk just because I don't want to lose service up here.
Okay.
Let me just find a spot to sit so I don't risk losing my service. What I was gonna say is growing up wasn't allowed to watch literally anything. Like I remember my brothers and I we used to we'd get in big trouble for it, but we used to go on YouTube and like pirate the old Lego Ninjago episodes and stuff like that. Um, but we weren't allowed to like watch anything. Recently though, the rules have greatly relaxed. They're allowed to watch like obviously they're not allowed to watch like Deadpool or R-rated movies, but they're allowed to watch like movies that I guess are appropriate for preteens and young kids. For example,
Yeah,
like I went with my little brothers to see the Super Mario movie.
well, and so was that something that growing up as a kid, like did you
Yeah.
hang out with any other kids outside of the church very often?
Um, we were allowed to, but the issue was growing up in my neighborhood, there weren't really any kids on our street. So it wasn't that we weren't allowed to hang out with other kids. It's just that besides church, there weren't a ton of other kids to hang out with. Because my parents had put us in some homeschool programs for like sports and fitness, but the homeschool kids were kind of weird. So it wasn't that we weren't allowed to, it was just that it just didn't really work out much. Um, I really started socializing a lot when I was 14 and started working. Started working since I was 14, and that's when I really started, talking to people and stuff and meeting new people. Besides that, it was mostly church stuff. Yeah, because we didn't like the homeschool kids, and there weren't a ton of kids our age on our street, at least not my age. So,
Is that the video breaking up
Yeah, that's the
or?
video. Yeah, he didn't have very great connection when they were doing the interview. It should come back though.
my older brother, my younger brother, we were all moved out. So
And so what's the kind of dynamic like that growing up where, it seems like every other year, every 2 years or so, you'd be welcoming a new sibling.
yeah, basically about every 2 years, if you look at the ages, like we're all almost exactly between like 18 and 24 months apart with very little variation. So yeah, that's how it was. And I don't know a ton about the modern because I moved out right when this happened. So growing up, I don't know if you know, it's my parents. They had a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house in Tempe. It was like I forget if it was like 1,500 square feet or 2,000 square feet. Either way, it wasn't that big. Like at one point, I shared a room with 4 brothers, so we had 5 boys in one bedroom, and it wasn't like a huge bedroom or anything. So that was a little crazy. But now they have a much nicer home with a lot more bedrooms and bathrooms. They've upgraded. So, but that was like right before I moved out. So I don't know. I don't know much about that. So I can only speak on like at least 3, 4 years back when I still lived there.
And were you kind of, along with the other older kids, and as the other kids got older, were you expected to help take care of and everything, all the other kids?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So like we'd be doing, laundry, cleaning, just chores and stuff. Or, my mom would have a bunch of little kids in the car, so she'd have us run into the grocery store and pick it up rather than unloading all the little kids, stuff like that. Just obviously if you have a household, which I think when I moved out, they forget if they had 11 kids. I forget if it was 10 or 11. Either way, there were at least 12 to 13 people living in the house. So there's a decent amount of chores that need to get done for the maintenance of a 12, 13 person household.
Well, and so you mentioned that you did have internet access as a kid. How was that kind of overlooked and overseen to make sure you guys
So
didn't get into too much trouble?
we were absolutely not allowed to have internet access. We did, but we weren't. We had all kinds of methods because we were always getting burner devices and stuff to, use the internet. The problem was my parents would then just not tell us the Wi-Fi password. However, we had other ways around it. I don't know if you like, old routers have the WPS button where
Yep.
if you're at the router, you can push a physical button and it logs you in
Who's-
without needing a password. So we had workarounds like
Excuse me.
that because we'd find like old cell phones my parents had discarded and they thought they
Who's controlling the video? Is it Tim or is it Gangster?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How long is the video?
I'm not sure. Do you know?
It's
Tim?
about an hour and a half interview.
Okay.
Oh,
And it's
that's
what is it, like an expose or just kind of like revealing that there was
Child abuse.
abuse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does it take a while for them to get into it, or does a lot of this have like content? Like, are we gonna?
It's been a while since I watched it, but I think like further past this, probably I know it's before halfway through he starts really getting into like he explains that they were beaten with that their parents would beat them with what's it called, like electric cables, like the cables you plug into outlets and stuff. And
Oh yeah, relatable.
he talks about how one of his little brothers, when they got into trouble, Steven Anderson just came out and instead of really saying anything, just took his little brother's head and smashed it against the window and left a big gash on his head. You can still see the scar in the pictures of the kid too.
Oh, that's not good. No, I'm just playing. My parents never beat me with an electrical cable. They got pretty close. I got the hanger. I got the belt. Um, definitely got yelled at, but no, I didn't get the electrical. I didn't get the extension cable punishment.
GG, try bringing it to about 40 minutes in. Let's see what's happening there.
Do you think that that's too much, like whipping the kid with the electrical cable?
Yeah, I would say so. That can leave marks, scars, and break skin. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's always pretty rough.
Yeah, 40
Um,
minutes.
my friend, I think it's more. I think it's more common in like the impoverished communities. The electrical cable one. I know a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends. Some of them were like they weren't like poor, but they weren't like rich either. And a lot of them has to do. It's probably a multiracial thing. I'll be honest with you. I see like a lot more. I see that a lot more common. Like with a lot of my black friends, like they'd be like they got whipped by their parents like hardcore. They got whipped really bad. Like I felt bad for them, but um, a lot of my Latino friends they got messed up too with various objects. Anything anything that the parent could get a hand of usually turned into a weapon. I don't know if would call it child abuse, but I would say sometimes it's a step too far.
wow. That was crazy.
Smashing a kid's head into a window, that sounds like a bad fight gone worse. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I fought like with my dad while I was a teenager, like fist fight, like almost like wrestling mat. Like I don't know if you ever got into scraps with your
Did he?
dad.
Did he ever DDT you?
Um,
Joking.
uh,
Go ahead
yeah.
and
The
continue
the answer the answer is. Um, I don't know. I don't know if that was the move, but definitely it was something you'd see on like Monday Night Raw. All we needed was the announcer. So I've never been upset about my parents for it. Usually, if I did something that stupid, I probably deserved it.
Could you imagine
So
Steven Anderson as a wrestler?
I don't know. Is Steven Anderson? Uh, is he a tall dude? Is he tall?
No, he's small. He's like what, 5'9"?
Yeah, but dad's dude got dad strength. I've seen like I don't know. Sometimes dads. Are you a father? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Who you asking?
You.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, my dad's always been like a big dude, so my dad's like tall and he's he's you don't want to mess with my dad. It's not gonna be fun for anybody.
Right.
Like yeah, but my dad will beat up your dad. But nah, like we would get into scruffles and everything like that. I've gotten in fights with my dad in my 20s. I mean, shit, it just happens.
Wow, that's crazy. I remember one of his sons. I'm not sure if that him, that
Huh?
guy he's talking to.
Who? The guy right here on screen?
No, not him. The guy he's talking to.
Yeah, that's one of Steven Anderson's sons.
Oh, uh, I remember seeing a lot of their kids. His one son went with him to go preaching in other countries.
That's
Have
good.
you ever?
How
I
many sons
forgot
does
his
he have? How many kids does he have? Do you know?
11.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely imagine a couple getting some trauma. You can go ahead and play the video. I'm sorry if I'm asking too many
Oh,
questions.
that's all right.
Kind of explosive
Regardless, I had
device.
no idea. I had no idea any of them got bombed. I don't follow a lot of the other pastors because I'm not a fan of most of them. I think they're like kind of stupid. But I don't follow them, so I don't follow that stuff. I
What
guess
makes you
he
say that
got
some of them
bombed. That's great.
are stupid?
Have you ever listened to them talk?
Extensively,
They
yeah.
half of them can't even talk properly, string together a sentence. They're a bunch of just like fat mouth breathers. Like my dad and a couple of the others are the only ones who can actually like speak, regardless of how you disagree with their ideologies. They can actually articulate a sentence properly, whereas a lot of their other guys are just objectively bad speakers. Even if what they're saying is true, I don't want to listen to their crappy preaching because they're bad at delivering a sermon. Just so I don't follow any of them.
As your dad, because I know your dad kind of started this whole NIFB movement, and a lot of people have talked about, how he's not in charge of everything. He's not a cult leader. That's something that's
What is
often thrown around a lot.
Biden
Yeah, he's
Does
definitely not like a
NIFB?
pope or a leader. No.
What do you say?
What is NIFB again? New
Independent Faithful Baptist?
something Baptist?
Yeah, and I know it's Independent Fundamental Baptist. That's it. I think.
NIFB. What does the N stand for? New?
Baptist. Yeah, New Independent Fundamental Baptist. Is that right,
Okay.
Tim? Tim should know.
Tim?
He's Tim.
You muted or not there? Okay, you can continue with the video.
Okay.
does he have any real say in when people, are given leadership of a new church?
Only if he's sending them out. Obviously, he sent out pastors from Faithful Word. Anybody else, he has no say. He does not call these pastors and tell them what to do. It's like I lived with him. At least he didn't when I lived there. He doesn't tell these guys what to do. They do their own thing. It's basically just, and most of them were not sent out by him either. It's basically just like-minded pastors. They collaborate on conferences and events, but besides that, there's no centralized leadership because that's part of the whole independent Baptist. It's not Southern Baptist where there's like a convention. It's the whole independent fundamental Baptist. So each church is totally freestanding and does their own thing, and they just collaborate on certain things and get along. But there's no centralized leadership. No one's in charge. My dad is obviously just a respected member, so if he has an opinion on something, people are probably likely to listen to it, but he's not in charge. And like if a pastor disagrees with them, they're not getting kicked out of the movement.
And just to keep talking a little bit about controversy, if you're okay with that for a minute.
Sure, let's do it.
Going back to the kind of the funny snark boards and the Reddit boards and people talking about you, I came across one story and I have no
Oh,
like way to
okay.
verify its
Fact check it.
authenticity. Yeah, exactly. About your mom saying something to the effect of she wouldn't want any of her daughters marrying a black person.
Oh, absolutely. That is absolutely true. Black, Mexican, they're not marrying any of those. Neither the sons, either for that matter. That is I didn't see that on Reddit, but that is absolutely true. At least when I went there. They didn't say it quite so nicely, but yeah, they said that. Absolutely.
Is that something that's preached in church or just more
No, so my dad from the pulpit preaches. He's totally fine with interracial stuff. He doesn't care. He just doesn't want it for his kids. Which whatever, man. That's their thing. They absolutely said that though. I'm sure they may or may not deny saying that, but they said that, both of them, on many occasions.
is that so
Yeah.
that's something that you would hear in like the household?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Any speculation as to why?
They don't like them. I mean, I don't know if you know, my dad said the N word from the pulpit once. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I am
He
not.
dropped an N bomb. Well, to be fair, he wasn't saying it. He was reading off. It was a sermon he made about Kanye West, and he read off some Kanye West lyrics that included the N word, and he just read it off. Obviously, he doesn't normally preach the N word because he doesn't talk about a lot of racist stuff from the pulpit. Not that I can remember, at least. So no, they just basically don't want their daughters. I think what it is most people, they want their kids and grandkids to look like them to a degree. And it's not that he has any dislike for black people, because I don't know, the church is quite racially diverse. Tons of Mexicans, Asians, black people, tons of diversity, honestly. Like, it's a lot. It's not like there's just one token black family. There's tons of black church members, tons of Asians, a lot of Latinos. So we have all kinds of people in the church.
Do you ever remember any, I guess, controversies from other church members or people bringing stuff up, having issues with stuff your dad would say from the pulpit?
Not that I can remember. I don't remember anything like that of anything, like anybody super disagreeing. Because most of the stuff he preached, someone disagreed with, they just didn't. They just didn't say anything, or if it was so bad, they just quit the church over it because they hated it so much. But for the most part, no, I don't know of any of that.
Okay. Um, how was your father's kind of notoriety treated around the household? Like, was it known to everybody how or like
Yeah,
why he was hated and how he was hated?
of course. We knew.
And were those things just like were
Tim, are you there? Oh, are you there, Tim? I'll be right back to that. Lupin.
Yeah,
There you are. How are you today, Lupin?
I'm doing fine.
Oh, that's good. Lupin,
Mhm.
what do you think of the Miss Mod show?
Which one?
The last one.
The one today?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Hi, Miss Outcast.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good.
How
How
are
are
you?
you? I'm good. I'm good. I was waiting a bit because I was told to say hi to all of you from Soot.
Oh, Tom, we said hi.
I will. I absolutely will. He's sleeping now, so I waited a while to allow him to fall asleep, so I wouldn't disturb him
Oh,
or anything. I don't. Hmm?
how you guys been?
Just awesome.
That's good.
Well, I've been sleeping most of today, but I woke up when he came back from work. So
Oh, that's nice. Oh,
yeah,
last night was a crazy show. Did you saw last night, Lupin? The show, the PGs had. It was all crazy, like.
No, I missed that one too.
Yeah, they're fighting against predestination a lot on there, and Danon's on there talking about stuff and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'll stop in every now and then and just kind of listen, and then I'll get busy with something, and then do that, or I'll have a stream or da,
Lupin,
da,
you should
da.
You should change your name to Lupin the Third. That'd be pretty cool.
No, it's already taken, man.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not. I'm not that good of a thief.
Oh,
I used to love. I love that. I love that cartoon though. I've seen every episode of it.
I never watched it. I didn't really like the art style, so it never
You know,
interested me.
the art style. You got to. You do have to get over the art style. That is a thing. But like after you get over the art style point, then it's really good. Like it's good writing, good character development, good plot, everything. The art style, like it could probably turn people off though. Definitely, I see that.
Yeah. It's like when it comes to that anime One Piece, I hear everybody tells me you should watch it, you should check it out, and it's like I just the art style,
I
I don't like it.
I can't stand well, it's like I can't stand the thought of just watching however many episodes whatever One Piece has because it's like one of the longer ones. Also, the art style and just the pirate theme is just it has nothing going for me.
Right.
So yeah, Lupin was really good. The show, they have a Netflix series show that's also really good too. But it's a live action movie,
Oh, okay.
and it's
Know
funny
that.
because he's played by a black dude in France,
Hmm.
and they can't find him. I'm like, there can't be many black people in France. I mean, dude, like there can't be that many black people in France. Other
what?
than that, it's a good episode, and he's not just like kind of the run of the mill like kind of black people. It's just like, dude, this is produced by like 6'5", husky, like a big built black dude. Like you can't really like miss this dude. It's pretty funny. Other than that, the show's really good though. The
I
show's
think they should have you play Lupin because you are the one true Lupin.
just I'm the YouTube looping.
So you're saying the live action movie, the character playing Lupin, they changed him into a black guy?
Yeah, Lupin has always been kind of ambiguous in like what kind of like race he is, and this is gonna sound racist, but even in the cartoon, he's always portrayed like kind of like a monkey-ish kind of guy. Like he just has like monkey mannerisms and everything like that. It sounds stupid, and I'm not like saying it. I mean, I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe people came from monkeys. So I'm just saying, uh, it's interesting, but yeah, no, the dude in it, he's really good. So like whenever they replace like other characters for like with black characters that like it's kind of it can be kind of strange. But with Lupin, it was like even the cartoon was like kind of like ambiguous. Like he always had like yeah, you could see him as a black dude. No,
Huh.
it didn't really affect it too much.
If I just like I remember from what I saw in the cartoon, it looked like he was just straight up white. So yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, you have to like. I think you kind of have to look in a little bit deeper into like whenever he like smiles and laughs, and then it comes down to his haircut and everything like that. And he always has like the mischievous like the mischievous monkey. He's a thief, so he like grabs things, and he's very like he has a lot of what is it called sleight of hand moves and everything like to get out of handcuffs.
Hmm.
It's just like he's like the mischievous monkey, like he's just very monkey like. You could probably, if you pull up an image of him, you'll understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I googled actually an image because I hadn't heard of it.
It,
Uh,
He does look like the face in some of these images does look like almost like a monkey.
yeah,
right.
like this one and this one, but then you have like uh, well, a bit, but it's kind of a weird manga-ish. style.
Like yeah, and there'll be some iterations of him where he's like a little bit darker skin like that,
Yeah,
and then they'll have some lighter skin. Like you said, his character has always been kind of ambiguous whenever it came to race. So at first it
yeah,
was like,
I agree. He looks kind of he does look kind of Southern European, like uh, Italian, Spanish, but they're
Yeah, I'd go with
also
Italian. That sounds about
yeah,
right.
yeah,
but
and
there also is a bit here. He looks like oh, what's Nicke Nyfiken? There's this child. Um, it's a book for children about a guy in a hat. Uh, wait, I will quickly look up because I know
Curious
that
George.
he's yes, yes. He
Yeah,
looks a bit
Curious
like that.
George. That's exact. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah, like I
So
said,
yeah,
he
I agree.
he's a little bit monkey looking. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to say this without sounding racist. Somebody's going to
Yeah,
make it.
sure.
Somebody's going to make it into a racist thing. You know, it's just it is what it is. Trust me, it's one of my favorite cartoons though,
Uh,
and it's a really good show on
Lupin.
Netflix too.
Only one I think should be played Lupin is you, because you're the only
I'm
Lupin
about
I
as
know.
I'm hairy like a monkey.
But yeah, uh, every time I hear Lupin, I think of you. You are the one true Lupin. Lupin
Oh,
takes
thank
over.
you. I'll accept that honor as the gentleman thief.
I don't think. Oh, uh, Lupin. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what's what happened between you and Mod?
Um, I got no idea, dude. I don't know.
Oh, oh, sorry, but yeah, it was crazy. And oh, hey, when did you do your last show with stuff?
He, a little bit yesterday, I
Oh,
think,
has he?
but it was more like
Did he stop?
I was just playing. I was playing a game, and then I put on some Trey Smith, and then I was talking to I think like AJ or something like that in the chat.
I like Trey Smith, but I don't
Oh,
like
are you?
that he tries to bring the apocrypha into things.
Like Enoch and everything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I just like his stuff is really interesting. I think he does a good job like explaining how the population spread out like after the flood, like and different settlements became different areas for certain occult religions and everything like that. I think he does a really good job of explaining a lot of that stuff.
and he went to the ruins of Sodom and Gomorrah. That was pretty cool. I saw that video.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
I've seen all of them. I've seen all of them, like well, the majority of them, because really those aren't even the full videos. Even like the 3 hour long YouTube videos are not even like the full videos.
Oh,
But they're always good, like
uh,
because always hear the same questions from atheists, and I've already answered the atheists, and my answer is not going to change because that's just what I believe and how I see it and how the Bible explains it, how we see it in history. So there's not really any change there. But whenever I go back and rewatch some of like Trey Smith stuff, since there's so much information in the videos, like you'd be like, oh, I forgot about it, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is really good.
yeah, we remember seeing his show a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching
Crazy.
the stuff about the Nephilim. I think if you're going to talk about the Nephilim, you're probably going to have to get into the Apocrypha.
Uh, yeah. I remember seeing his show a long time ago, and yeah, he does kind of remind me a bit of like the Joker
Yeah.
from Dark Knight, what he
Right.
Yeah,
talks.
he's that I like that about him. He's got a really funny personality. He's very like zany. It's the best way I
Yeah.
could describe him.
Nah. Yeah. Some people love it, and some people just like take it off. I can't watch it. I can't. I can't stand. It's like I like it. I just think I think it's funny. I think it's funny whenever he like smacks the TV screen
Yeah.
and like all the weird little mannerisms and the way he talks. But I showed it to like other Christians, and they're just like, dude, I got no idea what the heck is going on or what he's talking about. Like it's like they just can't get past it. So it's funny.
Wow, that guy. Uh, have you ever talked to Ken Oval, Trey Smith?
I I was trying so hard. Whenever I was at Dinosaur Adventureland, I was trying so hard to get in contact with Trey Smith and have him visit while I was down there because I think that would be like an epic interview. That would probably be
Yep.
like a bucket list item for Kent Hovind, like as a guest. Him and Walter Veith.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Ron Wyatt?
Ron Wyatt isn't that Ron Wyatt? Isn't that the guy that discovered the Ark of the Covenant?
The Ark of the Covenant, the
He's dead. Yeah, he died.
yeah, the wheel, the what is it, chariot wheel stuff.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
discovered a lot of things.
Uh, Steve Bolin talks about him a
Yeah,
lot, right?
yeah,
Miss
he does.
Hopkins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he said he'd hold on to those, like, hold on to
The
them and
sulfur
stuff.
balls.
Yeah, and the other stuff, the human finger he
Yeah,
found.
that bone, that big old bone.
Yeah, yeah. What, did Trey Smith ever talk about one Wyatt?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
in a good light.
oh. Yeah. What do you think of him, Tim? One
Ron Wyatt.
Wyatt.
I think I think he was legit in finding the Ark of the Covenant. It's based on everything, all the documentation, what they've done, and everything. And Trey Smith did a recent video on it, showing the evidence and interviewing some of the witnesses. And
That's
it
right.
sounds like
Yeah, he did.
it sounds like it was pretty legit to me.
Yeah, I think once we find the Ark of the Covenant, things are probably gonna pick up quite a bit. Things are gonna become very interesting whenever if you're going by a biblical prophecy, um, finding the Ark and everything like that. It's toward the end of the book,
And then yeah, and then the completion of the third temple that Israel's trying to build right now.
right?
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yep. So that's a big whole other topic. So
Yeah.
Who is it true that Antichrist is going to come from
I
Greece?
don't
Um,
believe that.
if you want to hear my theory, I think the Antichrist is going to be another pope.
Uh, Keely said the Antichrist is from
Yeah,
Greece.
no, I tell him he's wrong with that, and I'm more in line with what Tim is saying about the Pope. The Pope has always been a big antichrist figure,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
Pontificus Maximus, and even early Christians were calling him Antichristos. So, yeah, I mean, I could see that the another pope, the net maybe not old Francis over there, but a pope at some point being the Antichrist.
What if the Pope comes from Greece and he's
it's
very
gonna be
greasy?
a greasy
It's very
Pope.
greasy.
But but yeah, no. Whenever I say something like, "Oh, the Antichrist," supposedly, or whenever you say that the Antichrist is going to be like the Pope or something like that. Some people that don't know some of like the church history or anything like that, they'll recoil pretty bad. Like, how could you say that? And it's like, I mean, how could you not during this time that we live in?
Right.
You know, like I can understand being skeptical, but like to be offended by it, it's just kind of like strange. It's just like look into it. There's plenty of, there's people.
Oh, Lupin, can you work out like this guy does? Well,
I
what do
don't
you
I
say?
don't have a kid, so it would be very awkward.
This is not
Hey, let
video
me
you
borrow
talked about.
something real quick. You're just gonna need them to hang on while I do some pull-ups.
Just come on me that time when. Oh, oh yeah, Tim. This that video you talked about him work out against
Yeah, it
Obama.
was like a yeah, he did. It was like a direct message. I forget what it was. It's been a long time, but I know he was like doing a direct message to Obama for some reason. It turned out to be a montage of him just working out, and it's just like okay.
That's funny. I can imagine uh, Lupin working out with one
Hmm.
arm, doing those push-ups, right,
Man, one
Lupin?
arm pull ups
Oh,
is a
where'd he go?
that is a tough thing to do. I've tried.
Yeah.
I used to be able to do them,
Could
huh?
you do it? Uh, what about Lupin? Could he do it?
I wouldn't know.
Are you there, Lupin? Lupin, Tupin. He likes to take a poopin. Oh, sorry. Are you there, Lupin? Yeah, Tim. I can imagine you doing that too, with one arm tied behind your
No,
back.
thank you.
Uh, can you
Uh,
guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Lupin.
Thanks for.
Uh, I can imagine you doing a push up with one arm.
I can do a push up with my right arm, not with my left arm because it's all jacked up.
Oh, uh,
You're
yeah.
done with your
That
right
guy Steve
arm. No,
Anderson.
your left arm.
Huh?
Yeah.
What did you do when you said your arm was all jacked up? What have you
Oh,
done?
it's a long story. I'd rather not get
Okay,
into it.
it's like an old injury kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay, I see, I see.
Oh, what would you do if? What would happen if they had Trey Smith, Ken Hova, Pastor Anderson, Lon Wyatt, all in one, all walking in the bar together?
I think
We-
they'd have to like ditch Steven Anderson because he would start like some sort of argument and not be able to finish it, and they wouldn't back him up.
Yeah, that would be
They,
crazy.
they,
'Cause that guy.
are they
Okay.
all ordering virgin margaritas? Okay.
Yeah.
At least they'll be hydrated.
Uh, uh, I can imagine. But that guy in your video, he does sound a lot like Anderson. I can sense the Anderson
Who?
vibe to him. The kid and the guy all grown up, Steve Anderson kid. I can sense that Steve Anderson
Oh,
force inside you.
you can hear the Steve Anderson in his voice, like in his blood.
Yeah, coming out
It
of
doesn't.
him.
It
It's like,
he definitely sounds, and I didn't hear much. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. Like I'm not super interested in a lot of stuff like that. That's me personally. I mean, you could play it, it's your show, it's your channel,
yeah,
and everything like that.
yeah,
But he definitely sounds like um disgruntled like family member, specifically from a very religious background. Like it almost sounds like he
yeah,
didn't. from what I heard, he didn't say anything that was like super out of the ordinary though. Like I mean,
I don't have this.
something.
Yeah, I don't have the timestamps, or I would have told you where to speed up to. But throughout that interview, he just gets into some of the stuff, and it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty bad. Just that alone, Steven Anderson bashing his son's head in on the windowsill. That's just you don't do that. You just don't.
Yeah, how old was he when
Wow.
that happened? Did they specify?
Yeah, he said that was like one of his like 12 or 13-year olds, like really young.
Mm, I,
Wow, that's crazy.
it's very difficult for me to criticize. I don't like to get into parents disciplining their children and everything like that because I do believe in disciplining your child, and I think that we just have a society right now that totally looks down on disciplining your children and immediately go into saying something horrible like child abuse or something like that. Like very often, and slamming one of your kids' heads into a windowsill or something like that. It
Th-
sounds bad, but I wasn't there.
It
I
is
didn't
bad.
witness.
It
I was I was
child
I
abuse.
I was kind of bad like whenever I was like I'm telling you like my parents would like smack me around and push me around and everything like that. But at the same time, like I said, I can't go there and say that I didn't deserve it, or I would like hold that memory as a. I wouldn't paint my parents as evil people for doing something, even if it got like over excessive. Like I wouldn't hold that because my relationship with my parents is overall great. So I can't let just one or a couple negative interactions with my parents be like, oh, they abused me. I was beaten up as a kid and everything like that. It's like, yeah, that was just part of growing up.
Yeah, well, it's just I was showing that as an example as one piece of the puzzle because I mean Steven Anderson is just a flaming heretic in so many ways. So it's just like not only is he preaching just so hatefully from his pulpit, but then obviously you can kind of see how it bleeds into his household as well.
Well, of course it
Yeah.
does. He's a very, very angry man, and he obviously cannot control his feelings that based upon what I've seen from. So
Yeah,
unless he's just 100% a character on stage, which it really doesn't seem
No,
to
I
be.
think he's a
sad part
legit.
is I would prefer it to be a character on stage rather than him bringing it home to his family.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
100%, 100%. You don't, you don't, you don't abuse, and I will call it child abuse because it
yeah,
is,
yep,
uh, and it's extremely harmful to the child because as a child, your parents are your end all and be all. When we are really small, like uh, babies and toddlers, and even up in years, we can't survive without our parents. So if our parents isn't our um, protectors, then we learn that we cannot feel safe
right.
in the world,
Yeah,
and that's really harmful.
Uh, well, I kind of have an opposite view on that.
Yeah,
And a
I
lo-
figured. I kind of held my mouth while you were
well,
talking, but I
no,
had to say mine too.
a lot of the times, like you know, if my parents didn't correct, misbehavior and let it go unchecked, then I would probably be a lot more disrespectful as a person
Sh-
in real life.
sure, but so I'm not saying that discipline is a bad thing. It's part of raising a child, but
there's a
there are
right and wrong
different.
way to do it.
Yeah,
Exactly,
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I don't care if people talk about it. It's just usually I don't like to talk. It's almost like gossip to me, like and everything. Like I don't know. I don't know what the kid is, and people. Everybody's capable of lying, and they can make things sound way worse than it was, and it could be as bad as he says, and everything like that. So I um I just don't like to get into people's family business. You know.
Yes.
Well, that's what the judicial system is for, though.
No, screw the
Um,
judicial system. I don't want them to be part of the. They could stay the hell away from all the parents, kids, and everything like that. Hell no.
yeah, that's a really good thing. Like the kids in is it Utah? That's the Mormon state. Uh, the this woman, what's her name? I can't remember. I'm sorry. She was a streamer. She had like her her whole family and streaming their life. Uh, and
Oh, I
it,
think I heard something about what you're saying,
yeah, they were Mormon, I believe. Uh, yeah, they
which
were
is
Mormon.
which is just a weird thing for a Mormon to be streaming anyway.
It is. But what's even more weird is when you're like 5, 6, 7 year old kid runs to the neighbor having duct tape to their feet because they have been duct taped in the cellar of.
Were they on YouTube?
Yeah, I think YouTube was the platform they were on.
Yeah, because I remember hearing her this famous family on YouTube
Yeah,
that got like some of the parents turned out to be abusing their kids.
yeah.
Oh,
She's been prosecuted, and uh, I so she there should be have been a judgment made by this time, but I'm not 100. I haven't followed it like religiously or otherwise, but um,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fine line between discipline and then torture. Like I think that was more of a case of being held captive and child abuse to the level where it's almost torture. So I mean, of course, I'm not going to condone any of that.
Ruby Frankie. I googled it, and Ruby Frankie is her name. Yeah, and it was YouTube.
Was one of her kids named Chad?
Mm, not sure.
Lupin reminds me
Maybe.
of a Chad. Right, Lupin?
Why?
I don't know what goes on in that brain of yours, Logan. So
I don't either. Sorry. But me either. But anyways, yeah, I remember hearing about that. It was messed up. And I'm like, what do you think of this guy?
God has sent me, and I have all the answers to your theological question. Well, I would
what
say I
what's
highly
the
doubt
meaning of
that.
life?
Right, right. There's one for you. What's the meaning of life? Everyone knows it's 42.
Hmm. I thought it was 69.
That too.
Okay.
Lupin, would you, yeah, I think you were on a little bit on that show last night.
What show? Which one?
The PGs.
Was I on it or did I just comment?
Like, I remember you jumping on it for a little bit. Just a little bit, and then for some reason you fell off. I know Dustin was on there too. And, it was crazy.
Yesterday is a little bit blurry for me.
Yeah.
Forgot what happened too much yesterday. It was just one of those days where I was on a couple different streams, and all the streams all the streams kind of melted in together. So I forgot where I was on, who I was on, or and who I was talking to.
Oh. Do you ever talk to yourself?
I do talk to myself. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I
Oh,
talk
just, you
to
did. Did you ever
Who
myself,
talk back to
doesn't?
yourself?
Jesus Christ. I talk to God.
You,
I got a couple different voices up there.
oh, that's good. Long as you don't have no more than two. Is that right?
I think we reached three. I think from this conversation we had three. Three was the limit. Whenever you get past three, then then
Seek a doctor.
yeah, you might be running into you need help territory.
Uh, uh, do you know who this Sam the Man is?
I have no idea, man. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark and just say it's Christian Pike.
Oh.
You know who I am, deviant.
Yeah. Sam says you know who he is.
I do. I do.
Christian Pike has racked up $45 to come on my show.
Wow.
He did it quick.
Oh.
I'll set like a $50 cap. I'll set like a $50 cap to him. And once he reaches, which is one more warning. Once he reaches $50, it's just like you no longer even get acknowledged.
Oh no.
Because if I keep acknowledging them, the tab's just gonna go up to like 100 and something. I'm like, bro, you can't even pay your $15 one. You got to get AJ and Big Bad Mama to chip in for you. Now you want them to pay a $50 one? It's like, nah, I'm just not gonna acknowledge you.
Wow. Well, he trolled you that much? Wow.
I mean, yeah, the trolling costed them though.
Wow. Uh, I think he also trolled the PGs last night.
Oh yeah, he was trolling them bad, and that's the thing. They don't know how to handle it.
Oh, that was crazy. He, I think he came in there as the biscuit, the great biscuit. What do you
Could be
think?
that. It could be trout. It could be dolphin. It could be moon dolphin. It could be. He'll try whatever he wants.
That's crazy. He's a crazy guy. Uh, does he try to go on some show?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was really childish. You know.
Wow, that's crazy.
What's weird is
Yeah.
I think I heard him say on the stream. I can't find it, and I'm not real interested in looking. He says that we asked him to come on. Like, bro, nobody's asked you to come on our show. We asked you to leave our show. Just go somewhere else, anywhere else. Quit coming to our shows.
Wow, that's crazy. He's just a crazy guy.
Yeah.
Oh, did you would you ever would you like one day have it like a discussion between you versus Aiden?
No, I'm not really interested in that.
What about you versus Peter Cottontail?
It'd be too easy.
Oh, what about you versus uh hmm, versus Steven? Gangster
I'm
Steven.
liking the people that I'm meeting up with.
But here's Gangster Steven. I go there as
Yeah,
Gangster Steven.
I've seen that.
Yeah, playing gangster. Right, Miss Arcus? Look at the
Yeah.
party.
All right, I gotta go.
Oh, okay. Thank you for joining
You're
us.
welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. But Miss Arcus, are you there?
I was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said bye to
Yeah, that
Lupin,
was.
and I was muted then too.
Oh, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, Lupin is a crazy guy. He's a funny guy. He's just crazy. The way Brother Pine goes under the trolls. He's crazy.
Where did Tim go?
But I don't know. He just dropped out. Sometimes he does have problem being on here. Like the stream saying has
Oh
problem
yeah,
getting
right,
on there.
right.
It's crazy. But what do you think about would you I want to ask can
Mm?
I ask you but would you ever like to debate on here with Steven
No,
uh over
no,
Juan? Oh, that would be a great over Egypt.
no. That would be. I could have a. Oh, there you go. I could have a conversation uh with him,
Yeah, I mean like a this stuff.
uh,
Yeah, like that.
but yeah, I don't really think we would it wouldn't bear much fruit. Let, let's say it that way.
Yeah, I remember the other day you were on there too. But he was too busy arguing with Bruce. So we all just laughed because he that's like 90% of that show was about him versus
Yeah.
Bruce. You waited like 15 minutes, probably a half an hour, and yeah, Mark came on, waited for 15 minutes or
Yeah.
something, left. Oh, Big Bad Mama!
Yay, big bad mom.
Hello.
Hi.
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 I want to debate deviant.
Oh
Oh
no.
no. What have I done?
Alexander Nevsky. Do you know who that is?
Um, not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Nevsky.
He went to war
What?
against the Swedes in I think the 1300s.
Alexander Nevsky.
Nevsky.
Oh, the
They made a really good movie about him. Sergei
what?
Eisenstein in the I think the late 30s or early 40s. Yeah,
Wait,
Alexander Nevsky.
was he from
Nevsky.
like
He was from
lit,
Russia.
lit, oh, from Russia,
He fought
not
the
from.
famous
Mother was from?
battle on the ice against the Teutonic Knights. There was a famous
Yeah, yeah.
frozen lake battle. But before that, he'd
Oh.
gone to war with the Swedes. So I thought we could debate his legacy.
Oh.
I have to see
Oh.
because there was, yeah, the Prince of Novgorod.
Novgorod, right,
Yes.
right.
Oh.
You should watch that
Big
movie
Bad Mama.
sometime, though,
Uh,
Stevie, and it's a really good movie.
oh, oh. Tim showed me, linked me in a video to one of Steve Anderson kids who came out about. He said there are abuses kids.
Steven Anderson's children said that he was abusing his children.
Yeah, one of them came out. I think he's full
Wow,
grown
that's not
now.
surprising to me,
He
but
said
it's horrible.
you could definitely tell that Steve Anderson's kid, because I could feel the Steve Anderson uh force inside him.
You could feel the Steven Anderson still inside of him.
Yeah, his force, his way he talked and stuff remind me of Steve
Okay.
Anderson. He said, uh, his one of his brothers got their head smacked
Oh my
against the
God.
wall. Yeah, it was messed up.
Uh-oh, the fruit inspector.
Oh
Yeah, you're gonna check your banana.
Check my
Right?
banana and peaches.
That was, Oh, he it was so funny the other night. Uh, before Achilles left, he said to the food inspector, he says, "How was my banana?" That was so funny. It was a crazy show that night. After
Wow.
that, I don't think you were here, right, Miss? Yeah, I don't think Miss
Was I
Alcatraz was
Mhm.
here?
here. Yeah, you ended up joining.
Oh
Dane was
God.
here.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
sorry
bringing
about
him up,
that.
gangster. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
sorry. Oh, he said he wants to do that show from the country
Okay.
he's
Well, I've
going
got
to.
some. If he's going to show clips, I can show clips, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I've got clips of him
he's
doing all sorts of horrible things, and I've got all his chat comments that he's made that were just horrible. And so, yeah, I'm ready to go.
wow. Yeah, Miss Alcatraz, it got crazy that night. He was on here talking, and uh, the food inspector guy was here, and it was
Deviant was on
crazy.
her way up north, right?
Yeah,
You're
Oh
up north
yeah.
right now, right?
I am.
That's
I
nice.
am.
I'm happy for you.
That
Thank you.
she said. Sue is
Yeah,
sleeping right now.
Good. Good.
He said
Keep
he's
it
hi.
down.
sleeping. Yeah, I I'm
Don't
trying to.
yell at me.
Well,
What
I'm gonna.
what ends up happening usually.
Right?
Oh,
Gangster, don't yell at me today.
uh,
All right.
okay, I won't.
He's such a loud mouth.
I'm sensitive today.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm vulnerable.
uh,
we would pet you on your head and
yeah,
say you're a good boy.
Okay, that's what I need.
uh, but yeah, Dan, yeah, that was crazy that night, and
D-
you were on here, and
Mark was on
it
here
was crazy.
and yeah, and the fruit inspector was here.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
fruit
he ended up
inspector probably
leaving.
had
He
the
was.
biggest impact on Dan, but at least I got to call him an a-hole.
Oh,
So that
That's a
was like
win.
enough for me.
yeah, it was crazy. Dan, he's a crazy little guy. He is crazy. What do you think? Oh, yeah,
Dan is crazy.
yeah. You can bring whatever you want. Yeah, he's a crazy little guy.
That's for sure.
He's do you think he dances as good as those Muslim guys dance?
No, those guys actually could dance. Not even close. He probably
Yeah.
just,
I
yeah,
heard some of
I
the
can't see him
conversation. Oh,
dancing.
Uh, oh,
no,
what
I
you say, Miss
said
Akers?
I I listened to some of the conversation that night, but since I was gonna do my packing and get ready and all of that, I quickly realized that I had no chance to to get ready if I was listening to that because
Right. You were
it
doing
was
much
quite
important things
yeah.
than
And
dealing
it
with
was quite
Dan.
chaotic, quite chaotic.
Oh, Mark answered the fruit inspector's riddle there. Shut up, Mark. That's what the fruit inspector responded. The fruit
Well, do
inspector
you
better
see the
watch it
PGs
because
last night?
we're going to come to
Oh,
Georgia and there's going to be trouble.
oh no.
You
I'll drive cross
would.
country to
But
deal with the fruit inspector. I'm not
do you
afraid of
remember that
him.
guy? Do you remember that guy Lionston Limo?
What? Oh yes, he came on the
The
show with
guy.
Achilles and I, right? What happened to
Yeah,
him?
it was that one time. Well, I found out where he's at. He has a channel. I talked to him. I asked him would he like to come on one day, and he didn't really
Huh.
answer. But he said thanks for the
Okay. Well, he
invite.
was
So
sure anxious to talk about the Grand Canyon that day.
yeah, he mentioned a bit of that. It was Saturday. It was live. Yeah, the PGs like to have him join them. They say he's make a good member.
Well,
What do you think?
he was supporting Ron Wyatt, so of course they want him on there. I mean,
Oh,
and the PG said, what did they say yesterday? Yeah, that teaching evolution is a form of child abuse, they said.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, mental
And
disability.
so I responded in the chat that evolution is taught in every university in the world and that you guys sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know they timed out Claude,
Oh, poor
but
Claude.
then after that, asked him to come on.
Right, because they don't have anybody that wants to go on there because they're rude to their guests, usually. I've been on there a couple times when they've been
Well,
pretty friendly.
And I mean that I have to say this. Denying if evolution was a teaching evolution was a form of child abuse, I would say not teaching is more so child abuse because uh, there is you're hindering
Yeah,
your child from actually um, bettering themselves
thinking
and
critically.
uh, exactly and being a part of the modern society and having opportunities um, because the facts is and are that without the theory of evolution we wouldn't have the medicine we have today. We wouldn't have I mean our fruit our fruit inspector
Uh-oh, the fruit
our
inspector.
our food production.
Oh,
I made a
you
Frutian
just
slip.
got the fruit inspector excited.
Is dependent upon it. There's so many things that we have today. People would starve if in greater numbers than already are, of course. But people even in the Western world would starve if it wasn't for uh, the the what's the word? Um,
Understanding evolution or being
yeah,
able
and
to
the
apply
progress
it.
that's been made within
Right.
uh, biology at large. So,
Well, look at if we were using the same antibiotics that we used decades ago,
oh yeah,
people would be immune to, or what's the word? I mean, they wouldn't work on people because
no,
the germs would be, they wouldn't affect the germs. So it's the theory of evolution that allows us to understand that the germs have evolved,
yeah,
the bacteria have evolved, and so in order to keep
oh,
up, yeah, go ahead,
uh,
Logan.
Burr Pike talked about there used to be horses with
What?
three three toes, I guess, or
Oh, horses,
three.
yeah, like Eohippus, and yeah, the whole line of horses is very well understood from an evolutionary perspective, as are whales, humans. I mean, but I think even deeper than that, evolution helps us understand ourselves
yeah,
and who we are as a social ape species, and I think that's important. It makes us more to think of things more compassionately when we understand that we're related to every living thing.
yeah, yeah. It binds
Right.
us to nature, the nature that we are dependent upon.
Right.
I actually think it's much
But
more beautiful than
Oh yeah.
the alternative.
Oh, it's billions of years of history and just a beautifully branching bush of life. And um and there's mysteries there still, you know.
Yeah.
It's mysterious at the same time, but it's not just we take these 7 pages of a book and that's what we have to start with. That's our conclusion. And then we try to work our way backwards from that, which has never worked. I mean,
No, it's
as
not a
we
good
know.
thing.
What do you think, Logan?
Uh, oh. Uh. Oh yeah. I think they might be having a show tonight.
Oh, the Peaches.
Yeah.
Well, they have a show every day, don't they?
Uh. Yeah, but it was a while they were not doing the
Hmm.
show for some reason.
Yeah, they were laying very low there for a while.
But only bad thing is last night they did have Achilles. They have to have Achilles.
He's probably the brightest one
Achilles.
on there, and he's a
Yeah.
flat earther, so that should
So that's a yeah.
should
No, but
say
I
something.
agree.
Uh, One show they're having is the Letters to the Church in 2 hours
Letters to the church.
at 8.
Would this be Paul's like
Yeah,
letters to the
It has to be.
I'm not
Corinthians and
sure.
stuff?
To the angels of the. It
Oh,
says to the.
it could be. When I was a kid, there was this book with like children writing letters to God.
Oh,
So
okay.
that could be it.
Did you do that?
No, no.
Oh. Uh, yeah, here's the thing. It says Letters to Church of the Angels of something.
Angel of the
The of the church in the Pergamum.
Oh, let me look. I'll look on my.
what, Pergamon. That's a
Oh,
temple.
oh. Why did they
Oh,
get a D plus for
Pergamum.
this?
Hmm.
What? Oh.
Sounds
You ever been
exciting.
there? Have you ever been
No,
there?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, guess who's here?
The fruit inspector.
Y'all have receipts for them
And
plums?
I have the receipts for Dan fat shaming people. Does that count?
It does actually. It
it
does
does.
count. We accept all major forms of payment. We accept MasterCard and Visa. We're working on food stamps. So whatever you guys have to pay your fine, I'm sure we can. You know, we take Venmo.
I have a chip in my
So,
forehead.
oh,
Yeah, I mean we'll
Can you
take
use
that
that?
probably. We
Oh
probably
no.
can.
You have a
Does it
scanner?
tap like at the gas pump?
You have to scan it. You have to have a scanner.
If it taps at the gas pump, we could probably use it.
Oh, it works at the gas pump. I just
No,
bang my
then
head
yeah.
against the scanner.
No, then what? Yeah, we can.
Oh.
don't do that. I think I'm starting to get why you have a chip in your forehead.
Well,
I put it in
I've been
myself.
inspecting fruits lately, and I have to tell you, I'm not liking what I'm finding. The other day, I was on Lupin's channel, and I wanted to inspect the fruits, and what I found is that there were no fruits present, and they barely had any vegetables at all. And so, you go to the produce department, you don't see a single fruit, and it's like, well, what am I even here for? Like, I'm not going to even give grade this. I'm not going to report this. I'm going to come back later when you guys have a chance to stock the shelves.
What vegetables did they have?
They had a couple cabbages.
Cabbage heads?
But do they have Swedes?
They had a couple cabbages. There was also some Monster Energy drinks, and I'm pretty sure I saw some meth, but I don't want to confirm that.
Some what?
Let's just say that they were staying up late at night to play first-person shooter games from 1997. If you know what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Yes.
Oh. You missed him. He was here earlier.
Lupin was here.
Yeah. The Holy
I'm just
Rock.
so thankful that I missed him.
Yeah, me too.
You know, Angel's watching out for us when we don't even know it.
Deviant, did you talk to him?
A bit. I mean, I was in here. We talked a bit about child abuse.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it was pretty sad actually, because yeah, he doesn't really seem to believe in child abuse.
I think I'm accidentally guilty of it because Lupin's face was on screen one time when the kids walked by and saw it.
Oh, that it's oh,
They really haven't recovered since.
I can see why. I can see why. That's a
PTSD.
Yes.
LTSD.
What? Oh yeah.
P PLSD. I mean PLSD. Post Lupin.
Post Lupin. Well, I just came here to make sure that the fruits are checking out, and I have to tell you,
Oh,
pretty nice on the tomatoes and cucumbers. A lot of folks don't even realize those are fruits because they don't do inspections like this.
No,
Right.
but that's true.
oh, okay, that's
Well, yeah, a
Mr.
cucumber is
Putin.
a fruit, right? A
Of
pumpkin
course.
is a fruit, right?
Oh, I have inspected
Oh, yeah.
them before. Now, pumpkin, I think you're pushing it. I'll be honest.
No. A cucumber and a pumpkin are the same thing,
Pumpkins
practically.
are so heavy that I don't want to inspect those.
Well, you don't have to lift them up.
I'd like to drink them in my coffee.
Pumpkin spice latte.
Oh yes, I'm a basic white chick.
Are you a coffee? Do you drink coffee every day?
Every day I would say every few hours.
Oh my God. Are you
Oh,
eating better, fruit inspector?
I mean, it is a Red Bull, but is that better?
does it give you wings?
It caused me to get sort of like the nervous jitters and the eye twitch.
Oh, I heard they got sued because it doesn't actually give you wings. Is that true?
I mean, if I keep driving while drinking it, I'll probably wind up with wings.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't do that.
They used to have a
what
They
about
used to have a
lunch?
coffee drink called
Okay.
the Keith Richards at our coffee shop, and it was 4 shots of espresso.
Oh god!
And my buddy would get a double Keith Richards,
Oh my god!
8 shots.
Oh my! I
Oh,
used to get a triple shot latte when I was younger because a standard large latte has 2 shots in it,
Right.
and I used to get a triple shot, and that was enough. And I mean, I'm like really immune to caffeine, and a triple shot latte is enough to give me the jitters.
That gives a pretty good buzz, a triple shot. Yeah.
I've kind of switched to cappuccinos, which are double shot as well, and they're a little bit smaller, and they're a lot of heavy cream. Now I drink almost exclusively cappuccinos.
Okay.
okay. I I have to say this, but I think our fruit inspector might be very biased. He might not be an unbiased fruit inspector.
Oh,
Because
no.
of
Well,
his,
he doesn't eat any fruit or vegetables, it sounds like. So I mean,
well, he does, but only one kind, coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's true. That is a it's
So
a bean
I'm very
or a
very
seed.
suspicious.
Fries are vegetables.
I never even inspected an espresso bean that I didn't like. I'll leave it at that.
I have some advice, fruit inspector. If your stomach ever starts hurting, is to switch to oat milk as opposed
I thought you
to
were going to
milk.
say water for once in your life.
No. Keep your coffee. Just switch out of the milk to something else.
The only
Yes, you
problem
say
with
you're
that is like when I do the reason I do
Hello.
cappuccinos instead of lattes is because I love the really heavy froth
Dessert.
on top. I love the foam, and I don't know
Right?
if
They
you can
can
get the foam
foam.
with
They
the
can foam the
oatmeal.
other stuff. They can
Just
foam the
admit
other.
it. You don't drink coffee, you drink dessert.
Hey, Mark, nobody invited you. This is an AV
Uh-oh.
conversation.
Oh,
So if you could
hey,
see your
fruit
way out.
inspector, keep your fruits in line.
Oh yeah, I forgot to inspect my own fruits. Forgive me.
Ah.
Hi, Mark.
Howdy.
How are you
Hello.
today?
Hi, Mark.
Doing all right. How are you guys?
I was doing
I'm
good until
all
Mark
right.
ruined my riddle.
Oh,
And I didn't know the answer to that, so I was waiting. Yeah, Mark, you did ruin that.
I was so clever until he took it away from me.
I didn't ruin it. I answered it. That's what riddles are for, to be
That's-
answered.
Yeah, but he was addressing me, I believe, in his chat comment. But
He is right,
Besides that,
I need to see the receipts on that.
I've got all the receipts for everything.
So Dan chickened out yesterday, and then he's like, "I'm gonna do it later." So I don't really know. What am I supposed to be bringing to that potluck?
I've got an entire folder of his malarkey.
I love it.
And I've got video clips, and I'm going to get more video clips. And we'll go, you really don't need to bring anything, I don't think.
I love it because I'm lazy.
You could just go to salvation like you did last time.
Yeah, just skip straight to the salvation.
How many gospels are there, Christian? Because earlier there was some contention on Missing Mod's show. Tim was saying that there were different gospels. Like,
What do you mean different gospels?
Right. That's
There's
kind of where
one.
I was confused because, Paul said, if anybody brings you a different gospel than the one we've preached, let them be accursed. And I was just kind of curious, like,
Did he
you
mean
know
like
of
different
these-
book, like gospel accounts?
No, he was saying like, okay, so you've got the gospel of the death, burial, and resurrection, but then you've also got the gospel of the kingdom. And it's like, wait a minute.
Gospel of yeah, he's
Wait a
using
minute.
his words wrong. I
Yeah,
think I know
like,
what
okay,
he's
so the
trying
gospel of
to
the
say.
kingdom is the death, burial, and resurrection.
Correct.
So I don't know where he's making that delineation.
Well, you got that one gospel, like the one the Lord preached, but then you got these other gospels.
Right. And they're all tied in there.
Got the Costco gospel, got the gospel of dentistry is quite interesting.
What about gospel
Arguing with
second-
Tim is funny because he'll like prove your point straight out of scripture and then say, "See, I told you you were wrong."
He did that to me one time.
I
He
know.
brought up I think it was Romans chapter 8, I think. And he started reading it and he was like, "Hey, okay, according to this, we're definitely all predestined. Election's definitely true. There's a whole bunch of foreknowledge. See, I told you so."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you reading that aloud for the audience."
Sam, the man, I live in the state of Washington, not confusion. Get it right.
Oh,
He was on here earlier. Oh, he showed me a video of Steve Anderson's son all grown up. He could definitely tell it's Steve Anderson. He could feel that Steve Anderson.
You can feel the Steve
He was talking about
He's like, I discerned the Steve Anderson among this man.
Logan would know. He's got the most Steven Anderson videos on the internet.
yeah.
Probably yes.
He talked about it's crazy. He talked about how his dad views them as kids. He like takes one of his brothers like slammed their head at the wall, I guess.
For the
It was
Lord.
messed up. We see
Right,
that.
for the Lord.
Sometimes you got to beat them with a wet Harry Potter book for the Lord. What are you going to do?
It's got to be wet.
And it can't be like that first one or that second one. You got to get like some Order of the Phoenix thickness in on that thing. You know what I mean? I want it to hold like a half gallon of water.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Crazy.
You got to get their attention somehow, dude.
Well, parents used to use phone books, didn't they?
Those phone books.
Yeah.
And the
I used
phone
to catch
books
a
in
bunch
the
of switches.
past were massive.
We used to catch
yeah.
switches. And I'll tell you, I'd rather have a phone book than a switch because my mom could pick a switch.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, she knew about a switch. She could eyeball a
We had to
switch.
pick our own switches.
Oh, yeah. And don't
we
come
didn't
back
pick
with no
a good
little sissy
one.
switch.
Yeah,
either,
don't come back with no sissy switch.
Mm-mm. Well, I'll tell you what.
That just make it worse.
Yep. Hey, look at me. I turned out fine.
That's what I was going to say. I said I never got hit, and I turned out just great.
Uh,
My therapist says I'm doing good.
Who's Sam the man? Is that Missing
Yeah,
Mod? That's got to be Missing Mod.
yeah.
Sam the man? Oh, that's like 100% missing part.
Miss-
Yeah. Wire
Ooh,
hanger.
I'm going to
Phantom.
use a
I don't
wire.
think that was a spanking phantom.
That's just straight child abuse there. I'm sorry,
Look,
Phantom.
I told my cousin one time. My cousin DJ is like the funniest, dopiest person that you'll ever meet, and he was telling us all how he learned how to swim. And he was like, I remember when I learned how to swim, my mom threw me in the pool and she said, "Sink or drown." And I was like, "Sink or drown?" DJ, I don't think that was a swimming lesson.
Sink or drown.
Now now every time I see him, I'm like, sink or drown, DJ.
God, that would be a great album title.
You don't get many choices there.
My brother was like, I don't think that was a swimming lesson.
Oh, Missy Maud shows up out of the blue and claims that's not her.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you, Missing Mod. Hashtag
Yep,
believe
we
women.
all believe
We all
you.
believe you.
Believe all women.
Hashtag believe women.
That'll get you in a lot of trouble.
I'm so woke right now. I've been woke.
Tim was on here earlier.
Why does everybody come on when I'm not here? What the heck?
They're scared.
What are we, chopped liver?
Oh, just kidding. Not like you guys. Why does everybody come on when I'm here? Who am I that I deserve this? Who am I?
I found out. My friend told me. They made it where you could get a regular song and change the lyrics on it on that same
Oh,
Suno?
Yeah.
right. You can do a cover. You mean like a cover tune?
the language, so I could do a PG gangster paradise.
Okay, it's a good idea.
Gangster Steven. He's just a gangster.
Oh my god, I saw that Gangster Steven video. That was so funny.
Yeah, I was him last night on their show.
Oh, he's going back. He's going back. He's a repeat
He's
offender.
Claude and Skylar on his shoulders.
Looking like S-Dog. I like the chord rolls.
Yeah, I was that on their show when I go on there. This guy.
Logan is the lowest key troll I have ever seen in my life.
He really is.
Oh, nice.
Aiden.
Not that one. The Halloween.
That's him right there. That's him.
That's Aiden, the troll.
That's Steven. Oh, it's not Steven.
That's Dan.
The cat is missing mine.
Yeah. Oh, here's the party you guys having.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
It's good.
We-
I like how Lupin's face is just sort of a crescent moon.
Who's that potty that's in there? Not you, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
That's you.
I don't know. I did it wrong. It looks like Lupin's kissing Steven.
Well, maybe he is. Look, it's a 2024, man.
That's Pink Paradise. That's who that is.
Thanks. BBM butthurt about something. What? What is she talking about there?
What would you be butthurt
I have
about?
no idea.
I don't know. Was I
You're
coming
going to have to
across
get
as
over
butthurt?
it one of these days. You got to get over it one of these days, okay? One of these days.
Or don't.
Or don't. You could always don't.
Yeah. I think I'll
consider don't.
I'll just continue being butthurt, I think.
You know, there are these specially made pillows. Like,
Right. With the hole in the center.
Yeah,
yeah,
little donuts.
right.
Hemorrhoid pillows.
Better.
Exactly.
So when is Dan doing the thing, Logan?
He says it's going to be from where he's going to the Philippines.
Oh, that's a where,
So-
not a when.
Wednesday or Thursday?
I'm not sure.
And also, why would you want to go to the Philippines and then get online and start arguing with me? Like, just be in the Philippines. Like, just be there for a few
Exactly.
days among the people.
Is it that important that he wants to like interrupt his trip to
Yes.
Yeah, just get with us when you get back, man.
right or not?
You're going
I
to the
mean,
freaking Philippines.
You don't even have to get back with us. I mean,
He's like, look, I'm in Zimbabwe, but I need a couple hours.
just shut the F up and that'll do it.
That would
Well-
do the trick.
That's the crux.
Hey, I have in the words of Dan, I have a novel prediction that he'll cancel it again.
He said last night he
That's
was.
not a novel prediction.
Logan, you can tell him that we're gathering the receipts for our part of the show.
Okay.
We're coming to inspect his fruit.
He asked me to. He put these time stamps on there.
Let him do the work.
It is better if he does the work.
Why are you putting together timestamps for him, Logan? I mean,
He
you can
did.
do it if you want, but
No, he did it for me. He wanted me to take snapshots from each part of the video.
oh, okay.
Yeah, he
That
told
way
him
he
to do
wants.
that last night. He said, "Gangster, you got homework."
Yeah.
Oh, what's preventing him from doing that?
Uh,
Philippines mostly.
Well, you see, my time is much more valuable than Gangster, so I just pawn off all the dirty work to him.
oh,
I just can't see flying to the Philippines and then logging in at like 2 in the morning local time to argue with Christian Pike. Like, really? Like, I'm
Well,
gonna be here when you get back.
you're apparently very important.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think
You should-
It's not
it's
just
the
you; it's me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got to
Even
argue
more
with you
important.
too. Yeah, and you're the one with evidence. I have nothing. I'm so unprepared.
Did you hear Bolin last night doubling down on calling evolutionists child abusers?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
I
silly.
heard that. That was like ridiculous.
Oh, I
I
think
think
Who's
he
going to
thinks that
believe
makes him
Stephen
look
Bolin? I
cool.
mean,
He thinks he looks cool. He's like, yeah, look how bold I am.
in my echo chamber.
uh, I think he wants to do it there to show that he does do work. I guess that's what he said.
That he does do what?
Uh, like religious work, helping people. I guess. What the?
But has anyone said he
Fruit inspector.
don't do that?
No.
Don't go, fruit
What is he
inspector.
doing over there? I mean, is he like feeding them if they convert
Yeah,
from Catholicism to his church, or
I don't know. I know he feeds them and preaches. I guess.
Who? Dan?
Yeah.
That's good
there's got to be
people.
something involved with his church and getting, you know, I'm not going to say it. I just said it.
Okay.
Phantom in the chat. I think every prediction is a novel one to Dan.
Oh.
The
Hi,
Space Mason.
hi, Space
Space
Mason.
Mason.
Brother Pack.
Oh, I could have tried. I could have tried. Dang it.
Hey, you could go on longer if you didn't admit who you were.
That is
Oh,
the
Hey,
picture they've
Big
been
Bad
using on their
Mama.
backdrop.
Missing Mod texted you. You should answer it.
I did. I don't understand what she's telling me.
That's
You
too
know,
bad.
yeah.
Space Mason. Yeah,
Yes.
he said he wants to do that because show that he does work over there. I guess.
But
I mean, I believe
no one
him.
ever said he didn't. He
Yeah, I mean, I
was
believe him.
even he was Pike even said that it made him
Isn't there
this
something in the
might sound wrong, but
Bible about not letting your left hand know what your right hand is doing? I mean, surely
My
that translates into let's broadcast it on YouTube.
my
Yeah.
right hand
That's
never
good.
knew what my left hand doing.
Yeah.
I never know what my left hand's
I
doing.
don't.
I can't find half the time.
Yeah.
are you
What do you think of
sitting
that,
on
Big Dead
it?
Mama?
Perhaps.
Oh. But
I'm still
yeah.
I'm still trying to understand this missing mod thing that she's writing me, but
I don't know.
she's
I can fix
upset
that.
at
Hold
me
on
for
just a
some
second.
reason, but I don't know why.
I'll
Are you
take care of it. Give
butthurt?
me just a second.
Now I am. Now I'm butthurt.
Well, then missing mod's a prophet because she predicted that in the chat already.
Yes.
She
She
predicted
says,
I was
"Thanks,
going to be
being
butthurt,
butthurt
and
about something." And she got it right.
she hurt my butt.
Oh no, you need a donut.
Well, maybe
She's
you
a
shouldn't
pain
have
in my
your
butt.
phone there.
Oh, Mr. Space Mason. Uh,
The Space
are
Mason just
you
left
that?
the building.
Okay. Okay. Uh, are you that Karl Marx or are you this something Pike?
Well, they put this picture on their backdrop and put the word Pike on it. So I'm sure it's a reference to me, but I don't think it's Karl Marx. It looks kind of like Karl Marx, but not enough to be sure.
What
Some kind of like
can we?
No.
Can we?
33-degree Mason or something. I don't know who that is.
How can we see the picture?
Um, I don't know how.
Missing mod, probably.
Yeah, this is. Oh, I was gonna square this thing up between Missing Mod and BBM. So she was texting to say hey, and then you texted back and you were like sup, and that is pretty much the end of this engagement.
There's
Yeah,
Dan.
it was something like that.
Dan, come
Is
have
that
your show right now.
Danny boy?
We've been waiting for
The
you.
Pikes are calling.
So the
The stars have aligned. It's
Danny
time.
boy,
guy
the Pikes
uh,
are calling.
is definitely not Karl Marx. He does not look like Karl
Maybe
Marx.
it's like Lloyd Marks.
Maybe Lloyd Marx. And he also have a teeny tiny monkey hanging on his lip there. So I don't know what that's about.
Monkey business.
Oh, got me there. Got me there.
He
Some
just like
side.
said my last name, Pike. You have my attention, Dan.
Isn't it Ernst
Pike.
Haeckel? That's Haeckel. That's Ernst Haeckel.
That's
Is it?
Haeckel?
Oh,
I think so.
Wouldn't know.
oh,
He's very earnest, just like
oh,
Albert
Hemingway.
Pike.
oh.
Who is Albert Pike?
Really? It's Albert Pike? So they just randomly chose Albert Pike as their Freemason to advertise? Really? But like for real though, that's the Mason that you went with?
Oh. How free is this Mason?
Well, he's a space Mason. He's liberated from the Earth's gravity.
Oh.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think it might be. I looked up a couple of pictures of.
They're gonna be like, oh, we wasn't Christian. We're talking about Albert Pike. That had nothing to do with Christian.
oh.
But there's not enough.
Oh.
There is not enough beard, really. Maybe.
Oh, Dan's coming on in
Yeah.
5 minutes?
Yeah, he said.
Danny boy, the
Hey,
Pikes are calling.
Yeah.
Albert Pike.
Oh. Any relations to you, Brother Pike?
He's my spiritual leader and overseer, and uh, through his 33rd degree education, we shall all escape this realm to a higher dimension.
Oh. What if he's your great grandfather?
I don't think it had to go back that far, probably, because they didn't have photography back that far.
Oh.
I like how they're trying to act like that's not about me right now. Really? Really?
It could be. When I saw
Really?
that Pike, I thought it was you. Wait a
Oh,
second.
it's another Pike. Like, and maybe you heard of Lawrence Stoney from back in 1739.
There's an island I think I forgot where. I think it might be in Chicago named Stoney. It was named after Mark Stoney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can't recall what the code is. Oh.
Is Dan
But
actually coming on?
he said in 5 minutes.
I gotta hop off, but I'll hop back on here in like 10 or 15 if he's coming on.
Okay. I think it was evolution.
Schmevolution, workers of the world unite. It is time for revolution. I like it. I like it, Phantom. In fact, I
Oh.
said that.
Oh. Do you think they said on here evolution is a false religion?
What does that mean? What does that assortment of words mean in the English language?
I mean that Mark likes to dance.
It may mean that.
No.
Oh. Oh.
Mark,
Of
do you
course it
tend to
does.
boogie? Do you tend to
Ah,
boogie?
not
Have you
really.
boogied
No.
lately?
No, it's been quite a
Do you
while.
plan to boogie in the near future?
No.
I
Do you
boogie.
do the boot scooting boogie?
Now that's a different story.
Of
Because I will
course.
boot scoot on, like, when the occasion
Guess
calls for
who's
it.
here?
Boogie woogie, boogie
Who's here?
woogie. The
Mark.
kicker of
Kicker
rocks.
of rocks.
Oh my god!
Dan?
Is that Aiden Linden?
It looks kind of like
No,
if Aiden got
no,
hit by a train.
I wouldn't go so
I'm
far
too
as
good at
saying that I am Aiden Linden because he's a secular humanist, and you could just kind of go and I don't know, kind of like identify as whatever you want when you're a secular humanist. So no, I guess I can say I am Aiden Linden if I identify that way.
Maybe turn your mic down just a tad.
Yeah, like all the way down.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be back in a few minutes. You guys troll
It's
Aiden for me while I'm gone.
whispery Dan.
See you, Pike.
Pie.
Good guy,
Is
not.
this less foreboding for you if I whisper?
Yeah.
It is actually.
Oh,
Well, that's too bad because I'm not going to do that for the rest of the show.
I'm glad. I'm glad because I
Okay,
was
Dan.
getting a bit freaked out.
Well, how are you been today, Dan? You sound a little different.
Getting ready to go to the Philippines, so I ended up having to take like 37 shots of quinine before I went there because that's what the government says I need to do. So feeling a little lightheaded right now.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
uh,
You,
have
you
you?
truly are a national treasure, gangster.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
he
you.
is.
Oh, that was a crazy show you guys had last night.
Oh, well, crazy by whose standards? Your secular humanist standards that change all the time, Big Bad Mama?
I don't have an answer to that right now.
Big Bad Mama, you have said multiple times that you literally want every single child on Earth killed. So, come on.
You got me. You got me.
Fire trucks
I'm
in the.
apologizing to Dan. He's right.
Gangster Ghost, I have a question. Do you think it's good that Big Bad Mama thinks that every child on Earth should be killed? I mean, you guys are sick.
What Fire Charles is in the comments?
Chuck. Chucky Chuck Chuck.
Chuck, come in and talk to Dan for us so we don't have to.
do an exorcism.
Right.
Rose?
Teddy Roosevelt. Is he here?
Bully for you!
Music. Sound different, Dan.
Because
That was Teddy Roosevelt.
Adan.
Are you sure that's
No, it's
actually
Adan.
no,
it's not
eight.
Dan. It's Adan.
It's 8 dens.
Oh my! It's way too many.
8 dens. Wow. No dens. I think it's where you could go down and like your dad has a den, and another one I think some of animals built. So there's 8 of you.
Do you think that Noah's Ark had 8 dens? That's really my question.
For sure.
Yeah. And I don't know. I checked in their channel. They still have it. The scheduled the Noah's Ark versus Epic of Gilgamesh, but I'm not sure. It doesn't say, but it said September
You know, it'd be
7th
great.
something.
You know, it'd be great
Past.
if Dan was a troll this whole time and he came on doing a show in like favor of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Oh my god! If he did a show in favor of the Epic of Gilgamesh the whole time, and Steven like tried to shut him down, but he had like control of the streaming platform and just kicked everybody out and did a pro.
Turns out he's a geneticist.
He affects a British accent, and it's just been a thespian this entire time, just like acting out this extremely complex bit. Oh, that'd be so good.
He should
Please,
win a
Dan.
Grammy.
Please. I
It's
need you to restore my faith in humanity.
he's actually Richard Dawkins.
It's true. I was the elevator, so I was there. I know.
Why did Dan say 5 minutes? That was more than
Oh,
5 minutes ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
but remember when the show where he was to apologize and redeem himself? He didn't. First, he said he set up a date and time a week ahead, and then his
oh
wife had a birthday.
This is the
All of a
second
sudden,
time he bailed.
yeah,
Well,
Bailin' Dan.
this would be the third time if he bails right now. But
yep,
yeah, there was the one where he didn't warn anybody. He just didn't show up, right? And then he said his wife had that birthday party.
yeah, and then he showed up in the chat, and was going on for like an hour. I
Hi.
think it was It was either an hour. I think it was an hour and a half before he actually came on. I might be misremembering. It could be only an hour, but then by then we had already waited for like half an hour
Right.
for him to show
And
up.
then all he could talk about was us accusing him of texting and driving.
Yes.
you said I committed a crime in California.
Oh, Pandazzi.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello.
They said something.
We
he
can't
said,
say
"Oh yeah,
Pandazzi because he'll probably think that we're making fun of his dyslexia or some stupid crap like that.
Oh, why does he bring that up every show?
I know, right? Like seriously, he's like, "Oh,
Okay, to be fair, I did not know he had dyslexia when I chose this name.
That is so cold.
They're making fun of my learning disability."
I take it back. Pandazzi.
Don't take it back.
Christian,
I take it like mostly.
at least
back.
try to do a voice. Try to
Yeah,
imitate
come on.
Dan. Come on.
Come
Make
on,
some effort.
do it.
Guys, I'm making a novel prediction.
There you go.
I
you.
want to hear about the novel prediction. I want to hear about it.
It hurts. Okay, so guys, I asked Steven what you said to ask him, and he said that he was right and you were wrong. So I did proper investigative channels,
I
and
can
then you
already hear.
predicted that I would disagree in a novel way.
And then I fat shamed a
Tim,
bunch of people and accused everybody else of fat shaming people, but it was
Oh,
really
you
Yeah,
were
me
just
I,
fat
saying to
shaming
lose a
people.
few pounds. I mean, I don't know, just
I read
general
a novel
population.
back when I was. I read a novel just the other day. It was, it was Clifford the Big Red Dog. What a good novel that was. So it made a couple of novel predictions, you know? It made a prediction that Clifford was a dog, and he was red, and that he was really big. So, wow.
okay, so the Tim in the chat said that Albert Pike, has a very famous quote concerning evolution. Can't recall what the quote is. So I went on a little hunt. And
hello, everybody. How's
I
everybody
can't
doing?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, it's so Dan Posey.
wait.
It's Dan Posey.
Wait.
Good to be here.
Okay, I was in the middle of a sentence, please.
Shut
It
up,
might not be
Damien.
the most
Go ahead.
interesting thing in the world, but still, I've been waiting to say this for quite a while.
He said I'm doing a Gollum voice. Oh, God.
Let her speak.
Please
Thank you.
continue.
I was looking for the famous quote about evolution made by Albert Pike. I have found several quotes where he uses the word revolution, but that's not really the same thing. Otherwise, I can't find anything about revolution. I found one site where one of the quotes were the Second World War, and I'm gonna say that I closed that. I didn't feel I had any reason to look further into that site because Albert Pike died in like the 1890s. And wouldn't know anything about Nazism or anything like that.
Well,
Uh,
you take the word revolution, right, and then you
but
take the R off, and you have evolution. And Aiden has called me the R word several times, exposing his secular humanist heart and what it really believes. So, yeah, what about that, deviant?
Yeah, what about
well,
that?
he does have. I did find uh, another quote where there is one, or another site where there is one quote that's in regard to creation, and it says, "One man is equivalent to all creation. One man is a world in miniature." So that that's. I'm not. It's not like I'm saying you are liars. I'm saying I cannot find that quote. They must have found it very deep in the interwebs. He, in general, the quotes have very little to do with um anything akin to evolution. The universal soul is the supreme reason and absolute justice for the mind, mathematical and practical truth for the body, the quintessence and combination of light and the gold.
I've been saying that for years.
I know, I know, it's so spot on.
Well, I came in to answer your questions you were asking. So, did you guys actually want to hear answers or?
Not really.
So,
Yeah.
We prefer
Deviant,
predictions.
Deviant. Now, when you asked, actually, it was kind of a statement. Nobody who said Dan wasn't going or Dan doesn't do mission. Um, if somebody didn't answer and they knew Deviant, would
No,
that be
no,
a
no, no.
good? Oh,
I'm sorry, Dan. I don't want to really interrupt you. Uh, the question had to do with or a statement, as you said, it was a statement more than a question. When you and Pike were talking, Christian Pike actually commended you for doing missionary work. And I didn't hear anyone, but I was only half listening. I didn't hear anyone accuse you of not doing missionary work when you were
oh.
there. So
Okay, so well, to clarify, Christian, why did I actually say, "Hey, do you know what I'm doing next week?" Because wasn't that your statement that I don't do mission work? That I don't
I
do
never said
true.
that you don't. I've never said that you don't do mission work. I've never said that once.
Okay, so that's one, and that's why I want to get together. And I thank you, Kristen, because you said, "Why don't I wait till I get back?" You gave me a message yesterday because I told Gigi, "No, I'm not ready. I want to, be able to have these statements." And you guys, not like you guys like this, that I'm driving and you guys are, doing the backstabbing. But you're the one. You're the one yesterday, Christian, who called me a coward because I didn't want to do it last night.
Correct. Let me explain that statement.
Okay,
You
please,
told
yeah.
me that you couldn't do it last night because you got busy, and then you wound up on your channel doing nothing all night. So yeah, you just chickened out.
No, that's called what did I say? See, that's where you got a problem there, Christian, is that I said I wasn't ready with the
You
stuff.
picked the date.
Gigi, did I tell you we'll do it from the Philippines because I wasn't ready to
No, but before that, you set the appointment originally.
well, I've said it originally for Saturday and I wasn't ready. I
Have
wasn't
you thought
ready on
about getting
Sunday.
ready? BBM's ready.
Okay, so I guess
I have
maybe
dozens and dozens of receipts
Some would say prepared.
okay, so
and clips.
Ooh, got
here
I
clips.
would
then
like
so
to
then
state that I too have what the kids call receipts.
Mm. Yeah, so
Very
we're
good.
good. Like whenever you get ready.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Very good. So Gigi's setting the timestamps because it's his show. He's able to throw up the timestamp stuff, and he's very good at it. I'm not, as you guys know.
Why can't?
So,
Are you finding the timestamps for him, or are you making him do the work?
Gigi, you can answer that. I thought he already did earlier.
He put the
Can you change your name
he
after
put
you're
the
on stage?
Oh, did you put him up to like finding a specific set amount of timestamps that you had in order to construct your little narrative here, Dan? Is that what you did? Did you have
Gigi, do
Gangster
you wanna,
Ghost work pro bono for your little case that you've been building here to try and defend how you're like not a scumbag somehow?
all that I've figured out that you're just as big a scumbag. So I've got Jesus. You don't. You have no power above you to keep you from fat
No,
shaming
but you don't
people.
have Jesus though, Dan. According to the scripture, you don't
He's got
have
my
him, though.
friendship.
Not eternal, and that's what.
He's got like $40 from some island too.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure according to that book that you claim that you've read, you don't have Jesus either, Dan. So that's okay. I'm pretty sure we're on even footing as far as that's concerned.
Well, very cool because that puts you in the Pike camp, and you know.
The Albert Pike
Mark
camp?
doesn't say that though.
Yeah,
Mark?
Albert Pike Camp. That's a good one. That's a good one. See, unlike anything you've ever said, Dan, that was like really clever and like witty and like to the point. Like, when have you
Why
ever
did you
said
guys
anything
settle
like
on
that,
Albert
Dan?
Pike in your background? Can you illuminate us?
What's that?
Why did you guys decide to add Albert Pike to your background with the name Pike on his chest?
I'm not the tech guy, but I'm sure
Aren't
it
you
You're
has.
the
freaking
president.
I'm
president,
sure.
though?
Do you think President Biden is over pushing buttons to send missiles? No, a president. You guys.
He quite
Um,
literally is the one with the
No, I like
nuclear
it. Let him
football that
continue. I
has
like
the
it.
authority to launch intercontinental ballistic missiles at a moment because he's the only one that has the clearance of doing. So it's a bit of a crappy example, Dan.
the guy who
Bit of a
can't get off
crappy
the
example.
stage.
This is Dan's
The
way of
guy
selling
who
out
cannot.
Sweden.
I said missiles, not nukes. So is he?
It's sorry, it's an
is he driving the
intercontinental
ship?
ballistic what, Dan? It's an
Is he
intercontinental
driving?
ballistic what?
Is that the only missiles there are?
ICBM stands for
Are
intercontinental
there
ballistic what,
any
Dan?
other missiles that are being fired right
See,
now?
this is the definition of Dan, because he brings up missiles, I bring up missiles, and then he has to shift the goalpost when I've brought up how his
No,
point
you're
is
bringing up
stupid and doesn't
different
apply to the real world.
missiles.
Now all of a sudden
You
it's,
are
well, does that
bringing
apply
up.
to every missile that's ever existed, Aiden? Have you
Dan-
thought about the 12th century Han Dynasty
Dan
missiles that they
brings up-
deployed in the
Dan
Second
brings
War of
up
Chinese Heavenly Succession,
strategic
Aiden? Did you ever
missiles,
think about
not
those?
nuclear. Dan brings up missiles that aren't nuclear.
No, you didn't say not
Aiden
nuclear. You literally just said the word missiles. You didn't say not nuclear. You're adding context that didn't exist before, Dan. But that's what you
And
always do.
as-
You always
as-
try to sneak things
as
in the back door when you think nobody's
intellectual-
noticing, when you
as
think
an
that nobody's looking.
intellectual-
No, it's not going to
as an
work, Dan.
intellectual, you should
Yeah,
have-
as an intellectual, I can
wasn't
point out how
talking
you
about
tried
nuclear
doing that
missiles.
and how it's like
No,
really
not me,
obvious that you're
the
trying to
one.
sneak things into the back door when nobody's trying to notice. No, I noticed, Dan, because I am a little bit more intellectual than you are. So as an intellectual, I
that's why
impugn you as a
I called
non-intellectual.
you out on fat shaming. You're intellectual, and I told Gigi,
you're already running there. You're already running there. Go ahead, bring it up, Dan. Bring it up and get banned. Bring it up and get banned. Bring it up and get banned, Dan. Bring it up and get banned. Bring it up and get banned. Bring it up and get banned. Bring it up and get banned.
Please let him talk.
ancestor,
I heard you guys
Albert
talking about
Pike.
fat shaming. I think it's an evil thing, don't you?
Bring it up and get banned, Dan. What? Go ahead and elaborate on what you're talking about in terms of fat shaming, Dan. What are you talking about?
I did it privately with you.
No, but in relation to who, Dan? Who did you say that in relation to?
I said that in relation to my mother. Asked Jay.
Oh, yeah, no. Is that the only person you said that in relation to, Dan? No. But I'm not.
You mentioned Aiden's name in your stream
last night.
Yeah.
Oh well, I will apologize that because I thought I said the Canadian goose.
Because that somehow is not you talking about me, right? Like in your weird, messed up worldview, if you don't directly bring up my name, you're somehow not talking about me, even though everybody already knows that you're talking about me. You see, I thought that once, and then I graduated to the 3rd grade and realized that that's a really stupid thing because everybody ultimately realizes who I'm talking about anyways, Dan.
your fat shaming is still a third grade thing. So you haven't advanced.
You're the one
from
that
third grade.
You're the one that fat shamed.
No, what I said.
Yeah, you did.
Let me clarify. I said, Aiden, when you fat shame, why would you do that? Now, Gigi, are you
That's
around?
not what you said.
I read the
That's not
text.
what
I
he
know
said.
that's not what you said.
Yeah, Dan's
there's a
literally
lot
just
of lies.
lying right now. He's lying.
How
Do you
many
want me
texts
to?
did we go
Dan
over
is
that?
lying. Dan is a liar.
You want me
How
to
many
read the
texts
text?
did
You want
we
me to
go
read the
over
text,
that?
Aiden?
No, don't.
Okay.
Let Dan speak for himself because
Okay.
Dan's words can speak for themselves. Dan is
Was
not
that the
saying
only
his
message
words.
we did?
Dan
Was
is
that
not
the only-
saying his words because he knows that what he said is absolutely disgusting. And who he said it about was somebody who had nothing to do with any of this online discourse
Right.
whatsoever. What I said was said towards somebody that engages in our online community, in our online discourse. And what Dan said was towards somebody who has nothing to do with any of it whatsoever. And he's not going to bring up what he specifically said because even somebody with as messed up as a moral compass as Daniel Pazzi realizes that what he said was fundamentally abhorrent and messed up. So go ahead,
point.
Dan. Prove me
I'll give you
wrong
my
and say
point.
it.
Well, yeah,
Prove me
my
wrong,
point.
Dan. Prove me wrong, Dan, and say it.
My point.
Prove me
Aiden,
wrong.
why are you fat
Aiden,
shaming?
Come
shut
on,
up and let him
Dan.
speak.
Prove me wrong and say it.
Shut up, Aiden, and let him speak.
Thank you,
No, because
Deviant.
he's not. No, because he's not actually going to say it, Deviant. Because he's not going to say, "You don't know what he said, Deviant."
No, I don't.
Well,
I
No,
don't.
you don't. But
Aiden,
let me rest assured that what he said was something that I don't think you would very much so approve of either. Trust me.
Oh,
let's let him
I
lie.
fully
Let's let
believe
him
you.
lie about it, though.
I just want one person at a time talking because it's very, very loud and yeah.
Prove me wrong and say what it was, Dan.
Well, I'll go back so we can do. I'm doing that. You guys, you can keep on talking while I go back to the first messages. Go ahead, Aiden.
I got
No, I'm going to keep it silent, and I'm just going to let the abject silence that is your vacuous existence speak for itself, Dan.
So very good. Again, that my point. Aiden will not stop talking if somebody else is talking. But once somebody said, "Go ahead, Aiden," I'll look for our conversations, which was a lot of them. It wasn't just one. But when you kept doubling down, oh, there's no problem with fat shaming. When you fat shame,
Actually, I didn't
my
say that
dead
there's no
mother.
problem. I said
You
kick
fat
rocks, Dan.
shame my
I
dead
said kick
mother when you
rocks.
fat
I
shame.
said kick rocks, Dan, is what I said. You're trying to put words in my mouth.
Well, that
But
came
you
later.
know for a fact that all that I said to you was kick rocks. That's all I said. And that's what I said to you when you prompted the comment that you know I'm talking about. Go back and look at that, Dan, and you'll find that all that I said when you said those words to me was kick rocks, and you couldn't deal with that because you kept trying to provoke me to anger. You kept trying to get me to get all frustrated and to send you a message with leading responses because that's all you do, Dan. You try to set people up with loaded questions. You try to lead them along on this little rabbit trail that you have pre-set up for them, and you try to get them to say things that you already have orchestrated in order for them to say, like a manipulator, like a serpent, like a snake in the grass. That's all you are, Dan. You're not an interrogator like Christian Pike called you. You're an inquisitor. Because inquisitors do that while knowing full well that they could not stand up to that very same treatment themselves. That's
that
why I
evil?
enjoy subjecting you to it.
Is it evil though?
Did you find it yet, Dan?
No, I'm still looking. Is it
Yeah.
He's not still looking. He knows exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
He's still looking. No, he's still looking, Christian.
There goes Christian again.
In the conversation where all I said to him was kick rocks over and over again, and he said horrible message after horrible message after horrible message, trying to provoke me time and time again to say something horrible to him back. Yeah. Yeah,
Why
I'm
go
sure that you're
down
having
with
a
the
really
ship?
hard time looking for that, Dan.
Why go
funny, 'cause
down
I
with the
found it
Proverbs
several
guy
minutes
sinking
ago.
ship?
Oh no, he's looking for it, Gangster Ghost. Let's be quiet. Let's not break his focus.
Gangster, what was our conversation last night?
Gangster, help me, Gangster. Please help me. Bail me out of this. I'm looking really awful here, just like I did last time, Gangster. Please.
Gangster, what was our conversation last night?
Oh, I asked you, please don't bring up Mrs. Aiden, and you said I forgot what
Look
I
how he
was.
manipulated Gangster Ghost into being the one that brought it up first. Does anybody else catch that?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's nice in Gangster.
Anybody else how Dan manipulated Gangster Ghost in that question into bringing up something that he didn't want to take the heat and bringing up for? See, once again, Dan, you
Because
thought
I
you could
didn't
just
say
like
it.
sneak that one into the back door?
I
You thought
didn't
you
say
could
it
just
was
sneak that one
Gangster
past?
that
No,
did
I
it.
didn't say it. I just manipulated Gangster Ghost into
No.
saying it. Shut up.
Gangster,
Shut up,
did
Dan.
I say anything when you came and you texted me? You said that Aiden told you to tell me don't say it anymore. He didn't have man enough except for say kick rocks.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You're able to say whatever you want, Dan. As a matter
Gangster
of fact,
said,
I encourage that your awful, malignant, horrible excuse of a personality show itself for everybody to see.
Gangster, did you
That's why
say
you're
that
trying to pull this
Aiden
up. Hey, Dan, have you pulled it up yet?
Gangster?
Hey, Dan, have you pulled it up yet, Dan? Have you pulled it up? You said you were pulling it up earlier.
We've had a lot of chats.
Oh, yeah, right. A lot of
You're
chats where I just told you to
multitask.
kick rocks over and over again. Dan, pull it up. Stop trying to divert.
Did you ever kick any of those rocks?
Oh, he
Here's
kicked them the entire time. As a matter of fact, he kept kicking them harder and harder, and that's why he resorted to saying the awful things that he did, was because he was trying to provoke me into saying something. And much like a school grader, much like a elementary school student, I should say, Dan just like resorted to the most base thing he possibly could in order to try to get a response out of me, and he didn't get one, and it
You mean
frustrated him
like
so
you're
much.
fat shaming to begin
It
with?
frustrated him so
Your
much.
fat shaming to begin with
Oh
is what
no,
started it,
I
Aiden.
couldn't get Aiden all riled up by bringing up somebody who had nothing to do with anything. So now I'm getting all upset. I'm Dan Bozzi. I'm a
Like I told, I'm not
65-year-old
upset.
man who is still
Who's
trying to
upset?
get into stupid, inane internet
Who's
drama because I have
upset?
accomplished nothing with myself. Great job, Dan.
How many awards do you have?
Great job.
How many
Can I
awards
add
do you have,
something real
Aiden?
quick? Can I
Well,
add
let me
something
finish
real
this.
quick?
Let me finish this. Aiden's, how many awards do you have?
I'll
in your
answer that
profession?
right as soon as you answer me what you said, Dan. Right as soon as you pull up those conversations, I'll tell you what, I'll answer right after that because you're the one that's on first. Who's on first? Dan's on first because he said he was going to pull something up that never materialized. So how about you do that first, buddy?
Well, let's prove Christian
No,
a
let's
liar.
prove your original claim, you charlatan. Go back and find it.
Let's prove Christian a liar.
I don't think that'll be able to be done.
Well, you
What?
said I wasn't looking up stuff. Here it is right here.
Here's the
Dan,
conversation
I
that we
read the
had
text
between me and
messages in
Dan.
question.
No. This is the conversation between me and Dan that Dan said he was looking for earlier. This is exactly what Dan was talking about before. This isn't something that's apropos of nothing whatsoever.
So,
This isn't an
Christian, did
example
you
of
say I
Dan just
was
trying
not
to shift the
looking up
topic
stuff?
over to something else for the umpteenth time.
No.
Let's just move on to something else. Aiden's got
I'm
me
still
pinned
doing
down
it.
on something. Let's just jump over to something else like a little weasel. No, Dan, you're not going to get away with it.
I'm not getting away with any big things. Just so
Yeah, I know you're not going to get away. Yeah, I know you're not
Just so
getting
you
away with
stop,
anything.
like I
You're
told
trying to get
Gigi,
away with plenty,
like I
and I'm
told
not going to let you get
Gigi,
away with
like I
anything
told
whatsoever, Dan.
Gigi, like I told Gigi, as soon as you stop fat shaming, and if you weren't fat shaming, I wouldn't have brought it up. The reason I
No,
brought it up to
no,
you
Dan, you
privately,
used it as an excuse. You used it as a
privately,
pretense to bring up somebody who had nothing to do with anything about this whatsoever. You used it as a pretense to
fat
get me angry,
shaming.
Dan. You
Why
used
was
it as a pretense to get me angry, and it failed. You used it as a pretense to try and piss me
no,
off in that little conversation with you,
no,
and that's why you won't bring up
no.
the actual conversation. You
Well,
won't
this
bring up the
shows
conversation.
the evil of your heart, Aiden, is that you're
No,
lying
Dan,
about it.
you're the one that said that you were
Did
going
I
to bring up
ever
the
say
conversation, and the
anything about
conversation hasn't
anything until
materialized.
you
Hey,
kept
Dan, where's the conversation, buddy?
What?
Where's the
What is this
conversation?
fat shaming you are talking about, Dan?
Aiden can tell you that.
No,
No,
Dan,
you
actually,
can
you can
tell you
speak
that.
for yourself,
You
you
can speak
weasel.
for yourself.
So Aiden continually fat shames. What was it? The list. You didn't do one of them.
What?
Homophobic. You made homophobic or racist,
To
and you
who?
did one.
What does this have to
Linda.
do with fat shaming? What does this have? She asked you about fat
Linda.
shaming, Dan. She asked you about fat
Lupin.
shaming, Dan Pazzi.
Right.
Yeah.
You fat shamed Lupin. So,
Oh, yeah, so anyway, sexism and racism. No, I don't think those have anything to do with fat shaming, Dan. So do you mind, like, sticking on the topic for 2 seconds?
A list of
No, but that doesn't have
honest,
anything to do with fat shaming, does it,
is
though,
fat
Dan?
shaming socially acceptable? Let's take a vote here. A vote.
Is what
Deviant,
you
is
said
fat
towards me
shaming?
socially acceptable, Dan?
I was trying to get you to admit.
Is what you said towards me socially acceptable, Dan? No, but I'm asking you something, though, Dan. Is what you said towards me
Oh,
socially
okay, yeah.
acceptable?
Because you,
No, but what is what you
you're the
said to
one
me
that said
socially acceptable, though?
you're
Yes or
the
no?
one. If you're fat shaming of,
See, he won't answer the question.
I am
He won't answer
answering
the
it.
question.
If
Dan's not
fat
going to answer
shaming
the
is okay with
question. He's not going to answer the question. He's not interested.
it's okay
Keeps
to fat
dodging
shame
the
anybody.
question over and over and over again. He's never going to actually
So,
address the thing that I say.
Deviant,
He's trying to
is it
appeal to
all right
everybody
in
else in
your
the
society?
conversation.
No, because
Trying
she
to
asked a
appeal to
question.
everybody else in the conversation, grasping at straws, trying to turn people against
Well,
each
the
other.
way,
Here's Dan. There's Dan
so,
Posey
so
tactic
I'm
number
trying to get
3. Let's try and
Let's
turn
let
people
Deviant
against each
answer.
other.
Deviant has her own mind. You guys don't want it. Deviant, is it all right to fat shame anybody?
In general, no.
In general. Okay.
In general, no.
Okay.
When I say in general, that is because it is, of course, as all things, it's a case of case
Of context.
Yeah, because let's say if someone treats you like trash, you have no reason to treat them any better than how they have been treating you. You can, of course.
Deviant, you're using nuance right now,
Okay.
Deviant, and my
Then,
argument hinges on you not using any nuance here right now.
Can I say something?
Okay, so
Can I say something?
here was the roll.
Shut the hell. Okay, shut
Let
the
me get
hell
the
up.
roll right.
Hey, Dan, shut up.
So
Hey,
let me
Dan,
get
shut
the
up.
roll.
Hey,
Well, let's
Dan.
get
Hey,
the rolls
Dan.
first.
Hey, Dan.
Be quiet.
Hey, Dan.
Be
Hey, Dan, shut
quiet.
up.
You
Hey, Dan,
guys
shut up.
asked me
Hey,
on
Dan.
to answer questions.
Hey, Dan.
So we're
Hey,
still on the
Dan.
fat shaming thing.
Hey, Dan,
Is
shut
it
up.
all right to
Hey, Dan.
fat shame?
So,
Go ahead.
Dan. Hey, Dan, pause it.
Dan,
Shut up.
please be quiet. So, not only did you text this thing to Aiden, but you doubled down on the show last night and did the same thing then. So it's not like this was an accident, for one thing. And I would say that talking to someone else in the community is completely different than bringing up somebody's significant other. And if you
That's
don't
your
see the
opinion.
difference between those two,
That's your
then I
opinion.
feel sorry for you. Well, it's everybody's opinion. I check for yours.
Fat shamed my dead mother. So we have a
No, I
different
didn't.
opinion.
No, I
Okay,
didn't.
so
He's just trying to. You're the
let's
one that
see.
invoked your dead mother,
do.
You
Dan.
fat
Nobody
shamed your
said.
mother.
Nobody. Yeah, you're the one that
Let's go.
brought her
So,
up in this conversation. So you invoking
we
your
use
dead
the
mother in
N-word?
this
Can we
conversation as an attempt.
be racist?
You trying to
Can we
use
be
that as an
racist?
attempt to try and summon some sort of emotional response from people, Dan, shows how sick you are. You impugn your dead mother's name for the sake of some argument over the internet. Way to go, Dan. Way to dig up your mother's corpse and just parade it around the internet for the sake of some argument. Look at Daniel Posey, everybody, the shining example of moral fortitude. You fucking indigent asshole, Daniel Posey. You dregs of human society.
It's
I
okay
truly
to-
do feel sorry for anybody who has ever come into contact with anybody even associated with you, because the stories they would tell would probably make me weep by simply being in the orbit of your unfathomably sad existence, Dan.
So fat shaming is okay in certain circumstances. I'm sorry, I gotta know these rules. So
Did
can
you
somebody
find
be
it yet?
racist?
Yeah, where's the conversation, Dan? Were you busy trying to find the conversation you said you were gonna find earlier?
Right now I'm still back.
Where did that oh, you're still looking.
you guys
Yeah.
can get that
It's
one
really
up.
hard to find. Really hard to find.
There was a lot of kick rocks, Daniel.
Just buried. It's just buried so far up there, though, Dan. I know. It's almost like the search conversation feature exists, and you could just look in there and you could type a couple of words in there and you'd actually have it up immediately because you know what you said, Dan. You know what you said. Go into the search conversation feature and go and type it, and then go and pull up the message, Dan, and then you won't have any excuse, will you?
If you shut up, I can ask you. So it wouldn't be the search Facebook. There's a search message. Would that do it?
No,
I don't know, Dan.
Twitter.
Why don't you try it out for yourself, you septuagenarian?
Now, is
See if
that
you search
okay?
eBay, it might come up.
Is it okay to do ageism when I'm
Yeah,
not
you're a
interested.
septuagenarian. Yeah, you
Well,
are.
well, you're
And you know
actually
what? I
you're
say that to
actually
you.
you're
I
actually
say that to
you're
you, and
actually
I say
strict
that
though.
not to Big Bad Mama and not to Father Charles, because I find it amusing to make fun of you for your age, even though I don't actually hold ageist opinions. Because Dan,
Well, you
you're
just
somebody
did.
who I hold
You
no
just did.
respect for whatsoever.
Okay, so it's all
You're
right.
somebody that I hold no respect for whatsoever, so why would I lend you any sort of decency in our conversations with each other? Why would I lend a man who trots his dead mother out into a conversation when nobody else has invoked her name whatsoever, when he can't even respect his own mother?
Funny. So it's okay to now. Let me get the
Funny.
rules
Yeah, it's
right.
so
Let
funny
me
how
get
you
the
said
rules.
that about your dead mother, right, Dan? That was so funny. I'm sure she's laughing it up right now, Dan.
My mother spent a life being unhappy with her
Raising a
weight.
child who apparently will bring her memory up in a conversation over the internet for no good reason.
Now
What a
who's
shame.
bringing up? Now who's bringing up somebody who's passed away?
Actually, you're the one that brought her
No,
up in the
well, no,
conversation,
you're
Dan.
keeping
You're
up
the
with
one
it.
that brought her up,
You're
not me.
keeping up with
So
it.
she
So
clearly raised you, who is doing that right now. So that's nothing but a statement of fact, Dan.
So, Big Bad
Don't
Mama,
try and
you're kind of
spin
the
that into
orator.
anything but a statement of fact.
Big Bad Mama, you're kind of the statesman. So it is. So you gotta. Well, you're the one that always says, "Oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say that." So, um, is it okay to? I got to get these rules right. So if I fat shame somebody on this site or in our community, that's
Dan,
okay.
whatever answer he's going to give, you're not even going to actually listen or take seriously
Oh,
anyway.
I
So can
really
we just
will.
skip to the part where we listen to your interpretation
I
of his
really
answer?
will. So,
No, but can we just skip to the part where we get to your interpretation of his answer? Because you're not actually going to factor his answer to your question in whatsoever. So can we
but
just skip to
there
that
you're
part?
lying again, Aiden.
No,
So
I'm
this
not,
is
because
showing the
remember the part when your
evil
last
blindness,
conversation where you
the
asked Big Bad
deceit,
Mama if they
the
believed
deceit.
that a child had any eternal value, and Big Bad Mama wouldn't answer your question, so you said, "Oh, of course you don't. We know that you don't." Dan, you ask questions all the time you already know the answer to, just because you're
Well,
trying to
I don't
get a
know
very
his answer on
specific
this one.
leading answer out of people. So
I
don't act
actually
like you
think
don't do that, Dan.
I
Don't
actually
act like you
think
don't do that,
I actually
septuagenarian.
think I actually think that Big Bad Mama has some good morals when it comes to you just shouldn't be racist. You shouldn't be sexist. You shouldn't be
I
now.
agree. You shouldn't make
So
comments about
so
illegal immigrants. You shouldn't say that they're just like trafficking people all the time just because they're illegal immigrants, right? You shouldn't like support stories about immigrants like cooking animals, even though there's nothing that actually
I never said
substantiates
that.
that
That's a
whatsoever.
lie
No,
again.
you shouldn't. You
Lie
shouldn't do
again.
those things, right? Oh,
Lie
I didn't say
again.
you did. I just said you shouldn't do those things,
Oh,
Dan. When did
good.
I
Okay.
say you shouldn't do those things,
Okay.
Dan?
No, I don't. So, Aiden,
Oh,
who's in charge of the southern
oh, you
border?
don't? That's news to me.
I never said that they ate animals.
Oh, that's news to me.
Well, thank you. Did you ever say they ate animals?
I mean, I never said that they did. I
Okay,
never said
good.
that
That's
you did
news to
either,
me.
though, did I?
Right, but it's news to me that you don't think they did. So we're
Yeah, I'm sure that it is. I'm sure that it is. You see the level of Dan's tactics. He can't actually come up with an idea of his own, so he just mirrors mine and tries throwing them back at me as though that's some like gotcha. Once
it
again, kind of
is.
like a
It
third
actually
grader
is.
does, like on the playground,
It
when
actually
like you
is.
say, "Oh, you're stupid," and they say, "No, you're stupid." That's about the level of tactic that Dan is using when he says something like that.
Now,
So
Big Bad
We're
Mama,
just Dan. We're just
Big Bad
waiting
Mama.
for you to. I
yeah,
mean,
let's pull up
you've
the chat,
obviously
Dan.
found it by now. So just read
No,
it.
no, I've been
Yeah,
talking
come
to
on, read the
myself.
chat. Read the chat, Dan.
Let's see.
Oh yeah. Oh
I mean,
crap.
I found it
Sorry, I
a
can't
half hour
listen to
ago.
honking on
Yeah. We
YouTube.
gave you plenty of
Please.
opportunity,
Here
Dan.
I'm
It's
reading and
literally
you won't shut
been
up.
like
Here I
15
am
minutes.
reading.
It's been
Here I'm reading
15
and you
minutes.
won't shut up.
No,
Thank you. My
no.
point, Aiden. You won't let me talk anyway. So thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Aiden.
Go
Okay, he's
ahet,
ready to read
Dan.
it. He's ready
You
to
go
read it.
ahead.
No,
Let's
no,
let
he
him.
shut
Go
me off.
ahead.
He obviously doesn't want to hear it. So Big Bad Mama. Let's make this rule.
Yeah, let's
It's
He's
all
Aiden.
trying
right.
to divert
Aiden,
again. He's
Aiden,
trying to divert again.
let's all be quiet and we'll
Yeah,
let Dan read it.
I'm being quiet. Go ahead and
Okay,
read it,
go
Dan.
ahead,
Go
Dan.
ahead.
Sorry, I can't listen to honking off YouTube. Please use text. Work on my voice, work on my voice because it was better, and it would be funny. So that's where I am right now. That was like,
That's not the conversation that we were talking about, Dan, and you know that's not the conversation that we were talking about. We were talking about you bringing somebody up that had nothing to do with any of this community whatsoever. And in all
Aiden,
that time that we've had since you brought
Aiden,
that up and said that you were going to bring up the conversation, you just now opened the conversation. Just
Aiden.
now. You were
No, I
just
showed you
able to
on the
summon
phone.
up.
I showed you on the
Your
phone that Christian Pike was
You were
lying that
just
I
able to
wasn't going.
get your bony
No,
eldritch fingers to be able to
Aiden,
clack against the screen long
Aiden.
enough to be able to summon that up.
I'll wait till you shut up
Congratulations,
and then I'll
man.
talk.
Go ahead. You've been able to talk this whole time. It's a free country, Dan.
Not with the Canadian goose around.
Yeah, no, it is actually. Oh, is a Canadian goose able to take away your freedom? That sure is a frail freedom.
Well, some people think it's moral to not to like talk over each other, and that's
Yeah.
something not one of your morals. So
Some people also think it's moral not to invoke people that have nothing to do with the community. Oh, wait, that's not you, though, because that's what you did, though, right, Dan?
say that again in English.
No, you understand what I said. It doesn't
Well,
bear
I
repeating.
understood
I'm
it,
not
but
gonna. I'm not gonna waste
I
repeating
meant
it on
I
you.
meant for the
No,
rest of them because you talked Dan
no.
speak right then.
Well, then you understood what I said, and you're the only one I
Exactly.
need to understand what you said.
Right. So I was just wanting
Dan,
the
am I
rest
talking to
of the
everybody
community.
else, or am I talking to you right now, Dan?
Well, I want the we're in a group right now, Christian. So I want everybody
Hey,
to
Christian, you're
understand.
not talking to Christian right now. Are you aware where you are right now, Dan? Do you know who the president is? Are you tasting copper right now, Dan?
No.
Because you just called me Christian, and Christian hasn't even said anything in this conversation for like 10 minutes. Are you all right, Dan?
Oh well, you guys all parrot each other anyway, so I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
right. That's very clever. That was a good recovery, Dan.
Thank
That was
you,
good.
thank you. So I do come up with some good ones sometimes,
No,
but
that's called sarcasm. I know that you're not able
but
to detect it,
oh well, then
but that's okay.
you got a low sense of humor then because I can even admit when you say stuff
Not as
funny.
low as your opinion of people that have nothing to do with this community, but I mean, hey, there's that.
How's it going, Dan?
It is good. Can you get? Well, I'm still looking because I'm still at because I went too
Oh, he's
far.
hard at work. He's
And
hard at work. He's really trying to find it right now, Big Bad Mama. Trust me. Trust me.
I mean, how many conversations did you guys have? Like,
No, we didn't have any. I literally just told him kick rocks the entire time while he sent me paragraph after paragraph of, oh, well, you said this and you said that, and you're a horrible person because of this. And don't you think that Mark's a horrible person? And don't you think that Big Bad Mama is a horrible person? And don't you think everybody else is a horrible? And I just told him kick rocks, Dad.
isn't that a lie,
And he's
Aiden?
he's trying to
Is that a
dig
lie?
through the
So the last
conversation
one, you're
endlessly in order
lying,
to try
Aiden.
and find
Here,
the one
you
little
can
bit
link
where
it.
he said
Link,
something. Why don't you?
link it.
No, you're the
You said
one
all I
that
said
said
was
that you were going
attack
to pull
people.
it
No,
up.
you just lied. You
You're the one
lied.
that claimed that you had the
You lied,
conversation and that you were
Aiden.
going to pull it up. Oh, look,
Aiden,
Dad,
you just lied.
he became attached to one little minute detail of the conversation. Watch. What Dan's going to say I lied about is a minute detail of the conversation that didn't have anything to do with anything, and he's going to use that minute detail to try and distract away from what I was already talking about. Watch it happen, folks. Watch it happen in real time. Let's listen, Dan. What's your obfuscation? Let's hear the distraction. Let's hear the Dan-straction.
So are you finished?
No, I'm waiting for you to distract us with whatever red herring you decided to
Are
pull out
you
of
finished
nowhere.
talking?
No,
So
I'm
somebody
waiting to
else.
hear the red herring, Dan. Come on, pull it out. Let's hear it.
Didn't you just say that in between your kicks, all I did was attack people? Didn't you just say
No,
that?
that's not what I said. No, I just said that was part of the content of what you said. But
Now,
I know
did anybody
that's
else
a swing and a
here?
miss, Dan. That's a
Did
swing and a miss, Dan.
anybody
That's a
else
really
here?
you
Aiden say that
see how
all
he's
I
trying to
did
focus on a
between
minute part of the
Aiden
conversation that
wins
had
this
nothing to
debate.
do.
Aiden
The
wins this debate.
primary thing that I had
Shut
talked
up.
about was Dan talking about somebody that had nothing to do with the community, and now Dan is saying that I'm a liar because Dan didn't just say bad things about people. One time he sardonically tried to say that I was a good person once or twice or something like that. So he didn't just say that. He's trying to pull up a minute detail of the conversation that has nothing to do with the primary claim at hand in order to try and distract and obfuscate. And once again, Dan, I'm not going to let you get away with it. You've
Saturday,
tried on like no less than
you know,
5
that's
or
how you
6
win
occasions to
debates.
try to
You
use
win
your
debates,
sneaky,
Aiden, by
greasy
not
little
shutting up.
tactics
So
by
Saturday,
sneaking things through.
6:54.
No, I'm just pointing out the absolute holes in
Saturday,
your
6.
argument and
You
how
don't
it
want to hear
doesn't
it.
hold
You
any
don't
water
want to hear it.
whatsoever, Dan. That's all I'm trying to point out.
This is Saturday at 6:54. confession. This is me. My mom said she was born overweight. The reason society thinks that fat shaming is bad is because it is. The reason Pike said he was treating me badly is because he was showing me how I act. I thanked him because that is what I do with everyone who thinks they're good. Fat shaming shames all fat people. Lupin, Brianna, my mom, and all fat people.
Who was that person you brought up there? Who was that other person you brought up there? What
You're
was
not
that
getting the
name?
context. You're not
No,
getting
what was that? What was that name? What was that name that you brought up there, Dan?
Lupin,
You
my
said
mom,
Lupin and your mom, and who was that third person you brought up?
Brianna. So
Oh, and what does she have
all
to do with this community, Dan? How many times has Brianna been in this community? How many
now,
times has Brianna, and let me ask everybody in this room, how
how
many
long is my
times has
mom and
Brianna
my
come into
mom,
this communication?
Brianna and my
How
mom?
many
How many
times
times?
has Brianna come into this
What?
community?
How many times is my
Never.
mom? And how
No,
many times is
never
my
once.
mom? How many times
So
is my mom?
now that Dan has invoked
How many times,
Brianna's
David? How many
name,
times
I'm
is my
going to let
mom?
everybody know that Dan called Brianna fat.
No, I didn't.
And yeah, you
Yes,
did.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay. Let's
did.
listen.
You
Hey,
called Brianna fat, and you
put this
used
one up.
that to
Put this
impugn
one up
her
online.
looks,
Put
and you
this one
brought
up
her
online.
up. You brought her up, even though I never said
Fat
anything about
shaming,
anybody that had nothing to do with
all
anything
fat
that you
people.
said
Fat
whatsoever.
shaming,
So he
fat
called
all
Brianna fat. He called Brianna fat in
fat
order to shoehorn
shaming
this little example
shames
of his in. And
all
you know what
fat.
he expected me to do, Deviant? You
Fat
know what
shaming
when a man
shames
does when
all
they do
fat
something as
people.
base as to call their significant
Fat
other fat, what they're
shaming
trying to do when they're
shames
trying to do that is
all
provoke
fat
anger out of the other
people.
person.
of course.
Fat
So he tried to get me
shaming
angry, right?
shames
He
Of
tried to
all
course.
get me
fat
like
Right.
people.
he
You
tried
guys
to
are
get this
lying.
horrible
You're totally
reaction out of
lying.
me where I look at him freak
Liar.
out. Look at
Liar,
him
liar.
freak out as I
I'm
calmly
not freaking.
dissect
I am
everything
trying.
that he's saying. Yeah, you are.
Aiden,
You're getting
Aiden,
desperate, Dan. All I'm
6
doing right now is
Saturday,
I think
all I'm doing is surgically dissecting everything that you did right now, and you're screaming and you're scrambling around and you're repeating the same thing over and over again. You're getting all panicked because you know that
I'm
what
not
you said
panicked.
was
I'm just
horrible.
surprised you
No,
guys
you
don't
are
mind me
though, Dan.
dissecting them.
You're getting all flustered, Dan. Why are
No,
you
I'm
so
not.
worried?
I'm
Why are you
not.
so worried, Dan?
How is
I
me
don't know
saying,
why you're getting
okay,
all flustered.
let
So
me
Dan
read this.
expected me to get all angry and all
No, I
upset,
didn't.
and because I'm
I
not
was getting
angry, and
you to
because I'm
stop
not upset,
fat shaming.
and because I didn't do the reaction that he expected me to, here
You
he
said
is
there is
in this
evil in the
room,
world, which
just
means there
impugning
is a
me and
standard of
desperately
good to
grasping at
measure.
straws in
We
order to
are
try and
all by nature
extract a
sinful and
certain answer
unclean.
out of me.
You have
And I'm not
lived
going to
the
give him that
evidence
answer. I'm
that
not
is
going
a
to give him the
designer
answer that he
who
is
is
seeking.
absolutely
And
good.
now, because of that, he is just going on with his nonsense that has
So is that the
nothing
one
to
you guys
do
were
with
talking about?
anything that was initially brought up, Dan.
Aiden, is that
Dan,
the one you were
you
talking
are a
about?
disgusting human being for invoking somebody who had nothing to do
In a
with this
private
community.
chat.
And I didn't even
It's my
inform
mom.
her. Do you know why I didn't inform
But
Brianna, Dan? Because Brianna is a person who, as I said, has nothing to do with this community. So she's gone on with her life, not
it's my
knowing that
mom.
there's this
It's my
weird,
mom.
random 65-year-old
You're a
man in
liar.
California who
You're
has
a
an
liar,
opinion about
Aiden.
my wife's
Okay.
body,
Is
who
that the
has an
one or was there
opinion
another
about
one?
my fiance's body and wants to impugn it on an
Aiden
online
is a big
conversation in
fat
order to try and
liar.
invoke a reaction out of
Lying
me.
Aiden.
So
Lying
because I
Aiden.
didn't give Dan the
Lying
reaction that he wanted, he's here
Aiden.
just trying to overtalk me
Lying
like the desperate,
Aiden.
sad, dejected shell of a
Way.
man that he is.
Da, da,
Yep.
da.
Hey
I
Okay.
Dan, that
fully
wasn't
agree
The
to that.
comment even that you read. That wasn't the. I
Oh, thank
mean,
you. I was asking. Aiden couldn't shut up to say that was not really the one. But you see, I invoked my mother in it too. Why
Yeah,
would
Yeah,
I?
you're
but
the one that
you
invoked her into the
made that choice
Right,
conversation.
about your mother. You made
right.
that choice about your mother,
In a
Dan.
private
yeah.
chat,
You made that
try
choice about
to
your mother,
educate
Dan. Shut
somebody.
up. Shut up, Dan.
Oh,
You
you
made that.
guys showing the evil hearts, the
You
Hey,
deceitful
Dan,
hearts.
shut up. Hey, Dan, shut up.
She's not evil.
That is evil.
Hey,
You
you
guys,
Dan,
made
how about
you
you
have no
shut your
context
stupid
for
shut
this. This is
Dan.
evil.
septuagenarian mouth for 2 seconds?
You
uh,
chose to bring your mother into that uh, comment that you made. That was your choice about your mother.
In a private chat.
No, Dan,
You
no,
made
she's not
bring
done.
You may bring anyone that you have a personal relationship to, and a
And then he went on to say that I called his mother fat, and I never said anything of the sort, while he called my fiance fat.
yeah,
He directly said that
a
she was fat in multiple messages. He said that
Let's find out.
directly,
Let's look,
whereas
brother.
I never
Let's
said
look.
anything of the sort towards his mother whatsoever. And
Let's
Dan,
he's
you,
look.
trying to equivocate these things. Daniel
Let's look.
Pazzi is the kind of man that uses his dead mother, who can't even speak a word for
Let's look.
herself, to try and defend his comments
Aiden
of
can't shut up
invoking
because he's wrong.
somebody who has nothing to do with this community whatsoever.
Honk,
So
honk,
rather than just
honk,
admitting that he
honk,
did something morally
honk,
dejectable
honk,
and did
honk,
something that was
honk,
reprehensible for
honk,
no good
honk,
reason whatsoever,
honk,
he
honk,
instead is
Dan,
going to sit
honk,
here and double
honk,
Dan, just like he
honk,
did on
honk,
Richard
honk,
Dawkins,
honk,
just like
honk,
he
honk,
did with Big
honk,
Bad
honk,
Mama.
honk,
He's just going
honk,
to keep
honk, honk,
doubling
honk,
down.
honk.
And rather than he's sitting here and having a
Man, I don't know how
conversation
you
where
do it.
people speak with each other, he just keeps sitting there and repeating the same thing over and over and over again. I don't really understand why he even bothers trying to overtalk me, because no one's been able to do it so far, Dan
I
least among them.
Well, no, that's how you
so
win
I
a debate, Aiden, is you don't
hello,
shut up.
hello. I
You're right, I
wasn't
do win,
finished
Dan, you're
for
right.
fuck's
Thank you
By
for
sake.
not
I
admitting
can't
that
shutting
I
up.
win.
By
breathe.
not
Let's let
I
shutting up.
Deviant
couldn't
talk.
talk
Let's
because
Okay,
I
let
go
had
ahead,
Deviant talk,
someone
Deviant.
please.
sleeping next to me.
Dan admits I win debates. Thank you, Dan.
By not
Deviant, go ahead.
shutting up. By not shutting up. That's not
Dan,
a winning debate.
you
Well, you said I
made that
won.
choice. You had no right
Debate by
to
not
bring
shutting up.
in. Shut
Sorry,
up, Dan. What
Aiden.
the
Aiden,
fuck
keep.
is wrong with you? Why can't
Aiden,
you respect
Dan,
someone
control
trying to
yourself,
talk to
Dan.
Okay,
you?
have you guys
Control yourself.
Deviant.
Control
Aiden
sorry,
yourself,
keeps
hey guys,
Dan.
talking
I
to
got a
me.
real
I'm
quick
Dan, control
answering.
Over,
yourself.
I'm
Dan.
Oh,
answering,
Finish.
Aiden.
Here's
Finish.
Lupin to
everybody.
start
Go
over
ahead.
Finish.
talking
Wait,
as
wait, wait.
well.
Go
Fucking
ahead,
finish.
Deviant.
Well,
Hey,
thank you. After fucking
like,
15 minutes.
Thank Aiden for that one.
No, I'm thanking you. Fuck you.
Go.
Let me
Aiden's been
finish
the
what
one that's
I've been
talking.
trying to say.
have you guys heard the good news that Christ is
Can you
Lord?
let me fucking end the sentence?
What?
No.
Why?
Claudio is going to
What?
try to overtalk you
Lupin,
now.
you're
Claudio
interrupting
is trying
her.
to
Come
overtalk.
on.
Oh,
Wait your turn,
my
I'm
bad.
please.
trying.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
trying to.
I
It
had to
wouldn't take me.
explain.
I
No, you
know
don't
I'm
have to
All
say
trying.
right,
anything. You have
all
to be
right.
quiet and let
Have,
Deviant speak.
have you guys heard the good news that
No,
Jesus?
hey,
No,
Claude, how about you be quiet
Died
and
for our
yeah,
sins
no, he's
and
just here to
and
troll.
just
So Claudio is just here to
and
troll and just try to
hey,
overtalk the
Dan,
entire time. Yeah,
just
no,
I
so
would
Claudio
recommend
is
just
here to
leave.
try and
Let
keep
them talk
on
on
trying
their
to
own. Don't
overtalk. He's
don't let
trying to
them
take over the stream and make it
don't
all
let them
about
tell you to
himself,
shut
and
up.
he thinks
Don't let
that
them
he's going to be able to talk over the
and just
stream the
bounce
entire
out,
time,
Dan. Just
and
don't
he's
even
not
say
going to be
what they
able to
want.
do it.
Just
So
do it as
he's
I
going to be
do.
able to try
Leave
and
right now and
overtalk
leave.
the stream. It's
That's
not
what I
going to
do.
happen.
Let them enjoy
No,
Lupin,
it's
themselves.
not going to work.
Lupin,
It's not going to
Deviant
work.
has the floor, and if you don't shut up, Aiden won't. So
Oh,
let Deviant talk.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
so shut
Dan,
up, Claudio.
I'll just tell
Let
you this,
So shut
Dan.
Deviant
up,
talk,
Claudio.
You should
please.
just
Don't
Shut up.
interrupt everybody.
Dan,
Shut
you
up.
should just take off.
Claudio, shut
Don't
up.
give them what they want. Don't give them what
Hey,
they want, Dan.
hey,
Everybody, hold on.
Claudio.
Let Miss Outcast say
You're
something.
so disrespectful, it makes
Aiden, I
even
thought you
Dan
were gonna let
sick. You're so
I thought you were gonna
disrespectful,
let
it
Deviant
literally
talk.
makes Dan sick. So that's
Can you
pretty
block
funny.
everybody, Logan,
Aiden,
except for
yeah,
Deviant?
Aiden can't respect other
Uh,
people in the community. Go ahead, Deviant.
okay.
Just block. Just silence everybody.
According to Deviant, it was you,
yeah.
Dan, but okay.
Okay.
So,
Oh, sorry. Go
thank you.
ahead, Miss.
Thank you, Gigi.
Sorry.
What I want to say was you made the choice to bring up someone that is close to you, that you have a personal relationship to. That is your choice to make. It is not okay to bring up someone else's loved ones or dear ones, people who are not part of this community whatsoever. The point being, you made a boo boo. We all do. Just say, I'm sorry, Aiden, and please, I'm sorry, Brianna. I should not have done that. And this whole screaming match thing would be over. I don't understand why it's so difficult for you to just say, I'm sorry.
Well, Dan is going to say that I have to do something first,
Can
and
I
yet he
speak
is the proponent of a
after
book
Aiden?
that says that when somebody, even if I was the one, which I don't think I was, but let's just say
Gangster,
that
did you
I
have
was the one that provoked this. Let's just grant that to Dan here, that I provoked this entire scenario. Dan is a proponent of a book that says when someone slaps you on the face to turn the other cheek and to offer that to them. And rather than doing that, Dan has decided to just slap right back continually over and over and over again. So prove me wrong, Dan. Apologize, turn the other cheek, and admit that what you said about my fiance was wrong. And then all of this can be settled and all of this can be wrapped up. That's all it's going to take. And Lupin's going to advise you against that and what he's about to say. He's about to
But
advise you not to take the biblical path and not to turn the other cheek and not to apologize.
What
So
does that
just so
have
you
to do
know,
with
that's what
Aiden?
Lupin's going to do.
That's
I
out of
just wanted to
context.
preempt. I just
That's
wanted to preempt
that
that.
that's
Okay.
out of context, Aiden. So thank you. So
No, it's not
finally
because
got
actually Claudio said earlier that Dan shouldn't be here and that he shouldn't be doing quote unquote
no.
what
You're
we
turning the other
want him
cheek
to be
thing.
doing.
You are
Okay,
turning.
all right.
let's let Lupin
You're
talk.
turning.
Let's let
Yeah,
Lupin talk.
I won't be.
Well,
I won't be
I
long.
found another one first. Can I do the other one first?
I won't be long, Dan. Can I just say this real quick?
Dan, yeah,
Okay.
let Lupin
All
talk.
right, I just want to let you guys know that Jesus Christ loves you. He died for all of your sins, and he rose after 3 days after he was crucified.
This is
Uh,
so relevant to the
and
conversation.
anybody that believes in him shall never see death but have eternal life. Dan,
Shall never perish, but have everlasting
I
life.
just want you to know that you do have value, you do have self worth, and I hope you see where it is productive to spend that time. Sometimes these conversations can get you in your flesh. They'll take you out of your mind. They'll take you out of how you would normally think. So I would just suggest knowing your self worth, knowing how valuable your time is, and knowing when to spend it. I've been listening for 5 minutes, and it's been a headache. I've heard you've been told to be shut up a number of times. It's up to you whether you want to stand here and take the disrespect. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're a grown man. But also, it is ironic and hypocritical for these people trying to get an apology out of you whenever they will talk about Ken
You have to
Humphrey's
get the
wife.
barb in somewhere. Have to
How
get the
many
barb
beers
in
does Lupin
somewhere.
have
Let's let
today?
Lupin get the barb in at the very end of the comment. Yeah,
Serious,
that's very
but
good, Claudio. That's
How
very
many
good,
beers you got
Claudio.
in you?
I'll let you with that
That's very good,
information. And
Claudio. Very
yeah,
poetic of you to
yeah,
try and get that
God
barb in
bless
at the end.
you.
I
Guys take
actually
care.
have to go as
Love
well, so
you.
I'm going to go at the same time as Lupin. Bye,
Let's go.
everybody. I've got to go to work.
I
Have
just
a
got
good one,
a
Dan.
comment. Aiden,
Take
don't
care.
run. Don't run away. Okay, to be continued. So it happened Friday at 6 a.m. I won't read this because he's not here, but I did not use her name. I said, I can read this because it's not her name. I said, what? Well, no, that doesn't work. I said, what does somebody think of fat shaming? That was my whole purpose the whole time.
Yeah,
Other
that's not what
comment.
it said.
The other comment. What?
That's not what it said.
And you guys got permission because he already gave it to you. So, what does your woman think of you fat shaming when she is overweight? Okay. Does she know your feelings of fat people? And that I might be wrong with that. I think because I think if I say something racist, I shouldn't say something racist because there's some minority could have like done me wrong. Like,
All right, so just one more thing really quick here to clarify before I go. So
you did say.
the conversation as Dan is refusing.
Wow, somebody shut him up. Okay. So, does she know your feelings of fat people?
Please don't call her anything.
No. I said, does.
What does she have to do with anything, Dan?
I'm trying to get him not to fat shame people. I don't care who they are. I don't care if you think they're less
That's
than
between
human.
you and him.
This was private.
No, you said it yesterday as well on
Yesterday,
the
but it came
Proverbs
out
guy's
before that.
show.
What Dan said is,
Only
can you
because
ask
it came
Mark?
out
Can
before
you
that.
ask Mark if he
Listen,
thinks that your living is fat? That's what Dan said. He said,
I
can
did,
you
oh, yeah,
ask
I did that
Mark if
too
he thinks that your living is fat? Who
because
are you
I didn't.
talking about there, Dan? Who are you talking? Oh, I didn't bring her up by name. I just invoked the one person who we all know who we're talking about, but I didn't bring her up by name, you slippery fucking piece of
Did
garbage,
I
Dan.
say that? Now
Go
who is?
fuck yourself,
Oh,
you
he's so
idiot.
upset. Poor
Go
little.
and fuck
Go back
yourself.
to
That's
your
all you have.
room.
That's all you
Go
have
back
is
to
just to
your
go,
room,
oh, blah,
poor
blah, blah,
Aiden.
blah.
So
Oh,
Aiden is
he
not
said
the
something
good.
personal about my fiance, so he got upset. He's a human being with emotions. What a little baby. Yeah, you're right, Dan. You caught me. I'm going to let everybody else speak on what a stupid retard you are. Go ahead, everybody.
Oh, now, okay, wait a minute. Well, I'm going to stop that, Aiden. You're a scumbag for saying that. Do you know that Gigi does not like you guys making fun of me for my learning disability because he's got it too? Do you guys stop and think? You're attacking me for being retarded, and you're sitting and you're on somebody's show who has a learning disability. Evil. Don't you guys think that's evil? Do
I
you
think what
think?
you're saying
Dan,
about other
No,
people's
let's say no.
significant others is evil.
Whoa, whoa. Okay, that's good. You can think that. But do you think Aiden just calling me retarded when the person on that has this station has a learning disability just like I do? So,
Dan,
and he
you
said, no, Gigi said it hurts his feelings. I'm just telling you, let's be a little nicer. So when I went into private comments and say, and like, well, I'll read again. What does your woman think of you fat shaming? That is implying that I think fat shaming is the umbrella of everybody. Now, I might be wrong in my definition that you guys, since you think that Lupin is lesser of a human being than you guys, it's all right
no, I
to fat
I
don't.
don't
shame
think
him.
that.
No, I don't. I
Okay,
don't
so
think
but
Okay, I'm
that
a little
we
bit
why is it
guilty,
all
but I'm
right?
working on it.
Why is it all right to fat shame Lupin?
I have never fat
I
shamed
don't think I've
Lupin.
fat shamed Lupin before.
Aiden
Never.
has. Aiden has. And he's
Okay,
the
I
one
might
I
have fat
addressed
shamed Lupin.
personally.
I've never fat shamed
Well, is it all
anyone
right?
because I hate it. I have
Thank
long,
you.
long history of
Good.
anorexia, which you know because I have
Ah,
mentioned it many times before.
I
And
haven't
I
heard. I
also
don't.
have a learning disability.
So when he calls somebody retarded, did that make you kind of like cringe? When Aiden
When
called me a retard, and that you guys could tell me how retarded I am or whatever he said, was that like, go Aiden, good job, Aiden?
I don't like when anybody uses that word,
no,
including
me
you.
neither.
Thank you. Oh, the only time I say
You've
that's when
used
I'm
it.
talking
You've
about me.
used it on. You've used it too, Dan. So
And usually it's about me because I've actually I had people say you can't use retard. I thought I was retarded. Um, that's a personal me to me. If
that's
I said that
neither
about
here nor there compared to what we're talking about, though.
okay, but let's get some rules. Aiden shouldn't be hurting Gigi's feelings. Can we all say that?
We're not gonna. That's between Aiden.
No,
Aiden's
on this
relationship
community.
with Gigi is. We're
It's
talking about
in
you
this
talking about other
community.
people's significant others.
It's in this community. So we already made the law that we can only fat shame people in our community. So it's all right, I guess, if
No.
I no,
What?
you guys just said that. I can't
I've
I
tried
didn't
not to
I
fat
didn't
shame anybody, and
I
if I
haven't said
did, I don't. I'm not happy about it.
okay,
I
good. But
said
you sit here
I
you
said
oh
that
go
I
ahead.
don't I said that I have to whisper because I woke up certain he's
Right.
going up very early this morning to work. I said I don't like fat shaming. I don't do it.
Thank you.
I actually abhor it because of my own history. And I don't go and point out people having what people do that is based on their learning disability. Because guess what? Not only do I have ADHD, I come from a freaking family of people with the autism and dyslexia and you name it. So no, don't put on me what others have said.
Well, but you guys are doing that with me is what my point is. So then
I don't. Have I ever called you
No. But if you allow somebody, so you guys are attacking me.
I'm not
Wait,
responsible for what other people do.
so then you shouldn't be responsible for what I say to Aiden, right?
Of course, I'm not responsible for what you are responsible for
Okay,
what
good.
you say to Aiden.
Okay, so you shouldn't have any comment on it. But so, but
That's
let
not
me
the
have this
same
clear.
thing.
Let me have this clear then. So,
That is not the
was
same thing.
is
Don't
it
try to
okay?
deflect from it.
Is it okay? No, it's basic rules. I told you
No,
why.
it's not. You're twisting things.
No,
You're
no, they're basic
twisting
rules.
things,
This is
and
the
I
10
get
Commandments of Gigi
why
show.
you are so confused, because you're confusing yourself.
No, it's not confusing. You have to have laws. So
Can I
just
jump
because,
in?
go ahead.
I suggest that you just say, "Hey, Aiden, you and I have a difference of opinion, but I apologize for bringing your fiance into this. Let's move forward."
That's what I said. Just say you're sorry, and that's it.
I I have different standards than you guys. You don't like it. So let me read this though, so you guys can tell me where I fat shamed her in this. Does your woman think of your I said you of you fat shaming when she is overweight? How is that me fat shaming her? I'm asking him a question, and
Okay, let me pull up the text.
okay, that is Friday at 6. I thought it was Sunday we did this. Friday at 6:13 a.m.
Why did you bring her into the conversation? Why did you bring up
Because I've
her?
asked. Oh, okay, I'll tell you that. Because I've asked him, and hey, Aiden, don't do that. And he goes, I can do that because Lupin is whatever. And I thought he did say
But
he was
that
a
has
lower
nothing to
human
do
being.
with Brianna. Don't you see the fucking difference?
I think fat shaming anybody is bad. So
So
I didn't.
why
Okay, look at
did
that.
you
Wait,
then
wait.
bring up
Um,
Brianna? You're the
deviant,
one saying she's
deviant,
overweight. You're the
deviant.
one fat shaming her.
That's
Not
not fat shaming her. Okay, if I see you and you're skinny, and I don't, and I like skinny people, I like skinny people. If I said, deviant, you're so beautiful, you're skinny, I'm bringing up that, but is that, I don't know. It's just crazy towns. So how is that
So
me?
here's your quote. Here's your quote, Dan. Did we read this quote all the way
Well,
through?
let's do this one first. What
No,
does
no,
your,
no. I was just. I haven't
okay,
talked in a while. So
okay, yeah,
your
what,
your
wait a
quote
minute,
was
what
your
time? What time?
Aiden read part of it, but I'm just going to read it again, and so Deviant can hear it. Can you ask Mark if he thinks your live-in is fat? I only saw her once, but I know Mark got a long look.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's right above that. Yes, because I seen her a couple times, and to me, she might have just been in robes and stuff. So that was my point. So I didn't even fat shame her because I didn't really even know. It's like I know Mark has seen her.
but
See
So I was,
on fat
Dan,
shaming, which shows
what's
your
your
contempt for the woman you
obsession with
say you
his
love.
fiancée?
no, I
Why are
haven't.
you Why are you looking at her? Why are you dragging her into
I
any
Right.
of all
am.
this
It's
nonsense?
fat shaming. The subject was fat shaming.
She has nothing to do with this. Why are you dragging her in? Don't you
Well, let
see
me put
that's
it
the
this. Okay,
issue?
I've got it. Okay, this will explain
Don't
it.
you see
So
that's the
my
issue?
wife is Filipina, right? So if I start ragging on, oh, look at that stupid Filipina over there, and they might have done something bad to me, like Aiden's definition. This might be a real bad Philippine person who did something to me bad, just as bad as Lupin. I mean, this Filipina is as bad as Lupin, and I'm there, and I'm going, what a dirty, bad Filipina. Now, I hope somebody would say, "Hey, Dan, your wife's Filipino. Why would you do that? Why would you use somebody's body image or nationality or something they can't help?" If you guys don't understand this, I don't know how I can help you. This is and
Well, because you don't understand the basic premise of the issue. And if you were at just a tiny bit ready to uh, self reflect and think, maybe I actually said or did something that was wrong.
did you hear my example?
Yes, I did.
What that could you see?
And
Do you see how that? Do you see how that relates? Do you see
no,
that a parallel to?
no.
And look at my comment again. Um, let's see. Here we go. I went up with you with the Mark one. What does your woman think of you fat shaming when she is overweight? Okay, so that's not me fat shaming her. Now, so deviant.
But
It
for
isn't?
fuck's sake,
Of
Dan,
course it
I am
is.
trying. I've told you a million times. Just it is,
Okay,
and
please tell me, because
you
you
think
guys know I don't understand English.
When
So how
she's
is that?
overweight, you said. That's
yeah.
fat shaming.
No,
And
no,
she has nothing. She
no.
has
That's not
nothing
fat
to do
shaming.
with it.
Let's
Right.
get the
She has
right.
nothing to do with it.
Let's get the definition of fat shaming. Big Bad Mama, what is fat shaming? Because I might have fat shamed, because to me, I didn't
Are
fat
you
shame her.
so
So if I say anybody out there is
weak?
overweight, that's fat shaming them.
Are you so weak? You can't just say I shouldn't have brought
I disagree
Aiden's
with you,
fiance
Deviant.
into this
I
conversation.
I disagree. Sorry. So, Big Bad Mama,
No,
I
you're
said
not sorry.
no. I'm not sorry, because I disagree with you. So, what does your woman think? And so it'd be somebody asking me,
Okay.
Dan,
Read it
what
again.
would
Read it
what
again all the
does
way through.
okay? So, what does your woman think of you fat shaming when she is overweight? And before you go on that, so it'd be like somebody telling me, Dan, what does your woman think, your Philippine woman think of you shaming a Filipino? Okay, that's how maybe my mind's wrong in English. So, does she know your feelings of fat people? That's a question mark. He didn't answer that. So to me, then it's like, okay, I gave him the softball. He's gonna say, no, I didn't. I don't have anything against fat people. I just was digging at Lupin.
You're making it worse. You're making it
And
worse because I didn't even know about this quote. But yeah, you called her
no, I didn't.
overweight. Why are you talking about her?
Okay, did you see the Philippine
Why
example?
don't you just stop talking about people? You know, you can talk about
Did you
us
see my okay?
directly.
Where's that rule?
We're in the community.
So I can talk about
So
anybody in the
if you and I
community.
get into an argument and we get heated and I call you a name or what have you, or you call me a name,
I think that's immoral.
well, you and I have both done that, right? We've all called each other names at some point.
Yeah, and we can be immoral sometimes.
But I would never go and call your wife anything because I don't know her and she seems like a lovely person. So I wouldn't even like go to that place. Do you see the difference?
Oh, okay.
But
So
you and I have
here's an
battled.
example.
You and I have battled online,
yeah.
and so it's natural that we get heated sometimes,
Oh,
and we're going to
totally.
call each other something.
And I love that. I hope I mean I like that. And the people like, oh, you're not acting Christian. It's like I'm just having fun. And I hope you guys
I
are
just
too.
don't.
So
I just don't like.
when Aiden repeatedly talked about Gemma as being a mail order bride, she's not in this community. How come you guys didn't call him out on that? See, that's where I think you guys are like blinded, because Aiden can call my wife a mail order bride and you guys have no problem. But I say in a private conversation, trying to ask Aiden, and here again,
I don't like that either. I don't like those comments either. I mean,
why
I'll
don't you
just
say
say it right now. I don't like bringing up your wife or anything like that. In
good.
any
So
context.
next time he does it, you'll call him out on it. And actually, when he comes back in, you can call him, Aiden, that was wrong of you. You should apologize to Dan. Right?
I don't. I mean, I've never even heard Aiden do that. I mean, I've heard Claude, and he kind of owns it, you know.
Well, we know he shows his dark
So,
heart.
but that's the only time I've ever heard anybody mention mail order bride.
You can ask him.
And
Okay,
I don't do that. I don't do that.
I have heard Aiden say that the other day.
Right.
After you listen, shut up, Dan. Let me finish. After you had said that about his fiance, do you see the difference?
He said it a long time to Deviant. So he said it twice, at least. And one was way before. So you're trying to make again.
No, I'm saying what I have heard. I'm saying what I have heard.
Okay.
I don't like those comments, which is why I don't do them myself.
Okay, but so and that's why I want rules.
But I can see why he would say that once you have dragged his.
So it's all right if somebody says something about somebody that, and then I can see that
It's never all right to say anything about somebody
Thank you.
else's significant other.
No.
Okay, I'm at least
No matter who it, and I don't care if they're my friend or who.
you're consistent. Thank you, and that's why I like you, PPM, because you are consistent. We can disagree with stuff, but you're always consistent on it.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm not consistent, so that's why you don't like me. But maybe you would if you
oh, I do
listen to
like
what
you,
I actually
Deviant.
said.
I do like. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta go plug in. Deviant, I do like you. Yeah, because I really like hearing your opinion. I'm actually, you guys can chit chat. I'm gonna get a charger. Can you guys give me the charger for the computer?
Let's just. Oh, he's not here. Okay.
Well, you can talk. I'm listening, but I'm
Well,
getting a
I'm just
charger.
saying. Let's try not to do that.
Yeah.
Let's just try in the future not to do that. And I'm talking to everybody here. You know,
Okay,
and
I agree.
I'll try not to,
Sorry.
you know, I'll try not to do that to anybody if I ever, you know, and I'm sure I have done something that went over the line. I can even, you know, for sure. But it's one thing to get heated against somebody you're talking to in the stream directly in the community, and somebody who's just completely innocent bystander. And
Yeah.
that's where that's where I draw the line, is the completely innocent bystander who has nothing to do with it. Dragging their name into your disagreement with somebody else. That's where my line is drawn. But, you know,
Well, let's make a line.
Sorry about
Let's not do any of that. No fat shaming. No to anybody. Like I told Aiden, it's like he's too intellectual to reduce himself to fat shaming somebody. Okay, I don't have the I didn't get the role in advance that I can't. I can fat shame you guys, but I can't fat shame somebody else. I will now not do that because I want to respect your roles. And so, but I
I,
like that, Big Bad Mama. How about let's not do any retard jokes because yes, that hurt. You guys have been hurt. Well, not you.
I can only answer for myself.
Well, but you
yes.
no, you're a leader in this community. If somebody says that, like, hey, let's.
I don't want to be a leader in the
Well, you are
community. I
though.
just want to be
I
my.
give you
I
those
just.
kudos. You because your voice and this is coming from somebody who argues with you all the time. You have and you lead by your actions. And that's compliment, you know. And so I think they would listen to you if you say, "Hey, you know, let's do it a different way. Let's not use fat shaming, racism, sexism, you know, all those type of things." And like I say, you guys have whoever has done it, calling me or calling me out for, "Oh, Dan can't speak English." You guys do know, and now you do know because I always just joke about it, but I won't joke about it anymore because Gigi told me that hurts his feelings. And so I won't, you know, defend myself with my learning disability, but you guys say anything again about my learning disability and attack me for my views because I know you guys don't like them and they're attackable because we disagree. But if you go after my learning disability, I don't care. It's off then. Rules are off. I'm going after anybody to get that person to shut up. And I'll do it in
But I
private.
don't. Are those people going after your learning disability really, or are they just using the colloquial use of the R word, which I've made my opinion clear on that, and people make fun of me because I don't like that word, but I just don't like it. So,
Well, me too. Yeah,
is that is that what you're saying, that people are making fun of your learning disability? Because I don't think that they're doing that.
they have. When it said Dan can't make a sentence right. So that is my learning disability. Now, see, and that's again education. So, and here's even more education. When you guys even say that, if it's not you, Big Bad Mama, because like I said, I can't stand that you're so good because it'd be easier to hate you, but I love you. So because you are steady, you're good. So like I said, so you guys, even if you're just colloquially calling me a retard, you're hurting Gigi's feelings.
Oh,
So a person
no.
with a learning disability, even if it's a colloquialism, come on, you guys know that. And even way back when I made the jokes like, wow, you guys would be fun going to the Special Olympics, wouldn't you? And over your guys' head. And that was kind of my thing. Hey guys, now if somebody had a disabled person off of this stream and they keep doing it now, I will go after that person personally. because I got to educate these people that if you call me a retard, you're hurting Gigi's feelings, because I'm accepting it, because I, God made me that way, and has given me a voice. So anyway,
Yeah, because we all know that we treat Gigi just terribly.
no,
What
no.
are you
Listen. Oh
talking
no,
about,
no.
Dan?
It might be translation. Like when Aiden just called me a retard, that is going to hurt Gigi's feelings. He said. He wasn't saying it to Gigi, he was saying it to me. But
I know.
so no, you guys are really nice to him, but anytime you go after somebody like that. So if we went somebody in the community, and I didn't know you had anorexia, but I made a comment about, I don't know, say Aiden was anorexic, and I started attacking him on here because he's a part of the community, and you're so skinny, why don't you go eat some carrots? My daughters were genetically skinny. They tried to get fat. They just couldn't. They hated it. So that's what I'm saying. And I know you agree with me, Deviant, that we should just we can get into it heated. You're a jerk. I don't think that's anything that whatever.
Okay, all right. I don't have a long time to be here, so I need to set the record straight.
Oh,
For
very good.
one, when I call Dan's wife mail order bride, that's nothing against her whatsoever. It's actually making fun of you for purchasing a mail order bride. That's nothing against your wife whatsoever. That's not impugning her or
Okay,
her
good. So
character
we hear
whatsoever.
the
I
Aiden
never
role.
had the intention of impugning her character whatsoever, and I never said anything to impugn her character. I was actually saying that she was a mail order bride because you would have ordered her if she was indeed a mail order bride. That's to make fun of you, Dan. That's not to make fun of your wife or impugn
So
her
you
character.
brought
When
my
you
wife.
call my wife, when you call my wife overweight, even though you said so yourself that you didn't get a good look at her or you saw her in robes or whatever, according to your own admission earlier, that's you making a direct judgment on my wife. That's you saying something
When
about her
you didn't say
directly.
no.
Those are not equivalent. Those are
When
not
you
equivalent to
did
each
not
other. So
say,
also, just
Aiden,
another thing to
you
clarify
never
as
said she
well,
wasn't
when
overweight.
he said that I called Dan
You
retarded and
never
that hurt
said.
Gangster Ghost's feelings, Dan messaged me last night saying that Gangster Ghost sent him a message begging him to stop saying those exact comments about my fiance, and Dan didn't say that he would stop. Dan said he would only stop if I stopped fat shaming people. So
Right.
Dan doesn't care about what makes Gigi upset. Dan doesn't care about what makes him upset because he very clearly could tell that Gigi was upset by those comments, and he could have chose to stop making those comments to make Gigi not upset anymore, but he
I thought he
chose
was
not to make
upset
those
because
comments.
he
So
tried to
you
get.
don't give a shit about
I
what
thought.
upsets or doesn't
Okay,
upset
so
Gangster
it's
Ghost, Dan. You do
okay.
not care. Shut up and
It's
stop trying to spin your
okay.
stupid web of
It's okay.
sophistry
It
bullshit.
was
You're a
okay for
liar,
you to
Dan.
use
You're a
my
known
wife.
liar, and you trying to
Who's a liar?
equivocate
You've
those
been
things.
lying this
I
whole
actually
time,
was the
Aiden.
one that said that your
Aiden,
wife was
you're
mail ordered to
talking,
make fun of
talking,
you. It was
talking
to make fun
downhill.
of you, Dan.
Aiden
Only to
is a
make fun of
liar
you. It had
because he
nothing to
said
do
I kept on
whatsoever with
saying
anything to
everything.
do with your wife.
Listen,
It was only
somebody
to
gonna
do with
shut
you,
him up?
Dan. And the fact of the
No,
matter
I'm
is, Dan,
muting.
is that you had a double standard when you made fun of my wife's character directly by impugning her looks and saying that she was overweight. I don't care what sophistical bullshit you try to
Is she
spin in this
overweight?
conversation to try and
Aiden,
act like
Aiden,
those two are somehow the same
Aiden,
thing.
is she
They're not the
overweight?
same thing, and nothing that you say will be able to take away from that. I am not going to comment on my wife's physique. You've already done plenty of that for me, Dan. I'll
Okay,
let your
so
words speak
you're
for themselves.
admitting it then. You admit.
Retard. Goodbye.
Oh, you just heard what he said. So you can see, and this is actually good example, guys, because Aiden way back. Oh, I'm good. I'm almost perfect. This and what I've told other people, I'll tell you guys again. When I push your buttons, it's to show that you're filthy, sinful, deceitful hearted people, just like I am, and need a savior. And it works. And like Christian, I'm just giving you what you gave me. It's like you're doing it with. You said it was out without the spirit, because he was talking to Satan or something. See, so Aiden should know now that and a question for you guys, because you'll say it's like, oh, Christians believe we're going to get out of it because we've got forgiveness from God. Now we heard just the vial coming out of Aiden's mouth, and so where does he get where does the justice come? You heard him say it's all right to use my wife to to go after me, to make fun of me. I was going after him, trying to have him do is like, if you fat shame, you're fat shaming everybody. If you guys don't see the difference, I'm sorry that I explained it to you. I just don't know how to explain it to you. But any comments on that, guys?
We think BBBM. Hey there.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Dan, what's your question?
Well, again, two of them. Again,
He's upset at you, and so he's saying stuff because he's upset at you, and so that's between you and him. Aiden's my friend, and I accept Aiden the way he is, and he knows how I feel about certain things, and I know how he feels about certain things, and we accept each other. And Aiden and Gangster Ghost have a very close relationship, and so they communicate all the time with one another. So, that's between them.
Gigi, aren't we friends?
I try to be everyone's friends.
Yeah, exactly. I try to too.
No one has said you weren't.
Yeah, nobody said you weren't friends.
Oh, well, you were just saying that him and Aiden were good friends. And
you were saying that
me.
what Aiden was saying was upsetting Gangster Ghost. And my point is, well, Gangster Ghost and Aiden talk all the time, and they can discuss anything they want about their friendship.
Okay. Gigi, have you ever told them that hurts your feelings?
That's not really your business.
Yes, it is. Aiden brought it up. So, Gigi, does it hurt your feelings?
Don't put him on this. Please don't put him on the spot like that.
You guys don't want to hear his feelings?
I don't want you to put him on the spot and make him uncomfortable.
Exactly.
He can talk. He can speak if he wants to, but
I do have a question for Gigi. You're the one that brought it up on Missing Maud's show today.
Yeah, sorry.
So why would you have told Missing Maud, oh, Dan said that on his show again? Because I don't think I used Aiden's name, and I don't think I used...
No, you did use the name, but you guys talk about what happened between you and Aiden on there?
Okay, I will apologize for that, because I'm really getting on people on my station, like, don't use people's names unless they're here.
You did. Are you talking about on the PGs? Are you talking about on the PG show?
Missing Maud, you told me to shut up, but I haven't said anything against Mark, so I don't know why you're getting on me. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, don't say that about her.
Why else would you tell me to shut up?
Well, don't do that. You just tried to hurt her by bringing up Mark's name, and just don't do stuff like that.
He always does it, and she's the one that's told me before that she doesn't like it.
And we're older than a lot of the people on here, and we should hold ourselves to a higher standard than people that are in their 20s and 30s. Right?
I think if I don't know, I was raised more that you respect the elders, and so if you get a little twit come in, because the reason
it depends on the elder.
Wait a minute. The reason I like Aiden, because he's just a smarter version than I was. I was an obnoxious 20-year-old. So no, and so as an elder, I wish I would have had somebody come and was like, Aiden, use your brains. Don't use your third grade attack people on their looks. Don't body shame.
Yeah, but you're doing that. You're fat shaming people.
Okay, again, I said, and we can bring it up again. You guys didn't answer.
We know what you said, Dan. Except,
but you got it. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me read it again. Well, no, I really want you guys.
We have heard it. You don't need to bring
but you haven't
her name
explained
up
it
again.
You haven't explained it though. What does your
I
woman
heard your rationale for why you said it.
That's not me calling her. That's not me fat shaming her. I would say if my mom was still alive, I'd go, Aiden, don't do that, because that's going to hurt my mom's feelings. Because she used to listen when I was, when she was alive, I'd sit with her and she'd hear what we were doing.
You don't know her. You don't know his fiance. She's got nothing to do with this.
BBM.
You guys are making laws that I'm
It's
not
not a
BBM.
seeing.
law. It's called common courtesy. I mean, Asho said something back, which was a good point. We shouldn't have to make rules for common courtesy. It should be something that just comes natural to you not to do. Now, if we're in a fight together on the stream and it's getting heated, then things come out. And so, there are things that we say that we're proud of and things we say that we're not proud of, but it's between us. To bring in somebody else's family or and as I said, I don't like to do that in any case.
Exactly. But how did you guys first hear of my conversation with Aiden? And I still don't see
BBM.
that as fat shaming. Um,
BBM.
I just not getting it. So where did you guys hear that? It's the same thing. Like
BBM.
I had a
Yes,
person. Oh, go ahead.
deviant.
Do you have maybe a drill or a jackhammer or something that can take on concrete? Because I want to put it to my head. That's how I feel about this
A
conversation.
jackhammer.
Yeah.
I've got a digging spade which is smaller,
I
but
think,
it's
Dan, I think you know what we're saying to you,
I do. I
right?
disagree with it.
Yeah,
So
but I
you
don't think
guys
you
are
do. I
saying
don't think you do actually.
well, wait a minute. You guys said it's all right for Aiden to bring my wife in because
I
Deviant
didn't
thought.
say
Wait a minute.
that.
No, Deviant thought that, and this is I'm talking
No,
community.
no,
You
I
said,
didn't.
well, why
I
did you
didn't
justify?
say it. I didn't say it was
She did
okay.
not
I
say
said
that.
no.
No, yeah, they'll explain that because when you said, oh well, Aiden did it because Aiden brought my wife in because I personally, privately talked to him. So he's the one that brought it public. So that I think I'm pretty sure. So
No.
but then
He
So this is
reacted
what
to
I
you
need
after
the
you
drill
made
for.
comments.
well, no, he said that before though. This is not the first time he said that. This would have been after that, but he had said that before. And so he did explain. He goes, well, he was attacking me, so he was making like because and that was way long time ago because that was a long time when I said my
Look,
wife's got a doctorate's degree.
Aiden's
I'm the
not
male.
here.
I'm the
Aiden's not
male.
here anymore. So we're here with you, Dan. We're on the stream. We don't need to. Aiden's gone. You and him had your say and had your conversation together, whatever it was, right? So
Correct. So I agree. Let's not bring up any fat shaming, racism, whether it's in the community or out. And I can agree on that one. We can agree to disagree on the other. You guys are so Deviant. He came back in when you knew it. You should. Why didn't you say, "Hey, Aiden"? Well, because you can't, because the guy doesn't shut up. So you guys are giving him a pass, is what you're doing. In reality,
I've just told you and him and everybody on here my opinion about things, right?
and I'm going to go with you because I actually do respect you. There, Aiden doesn't, of course, but because he keeps it up. He came in and did it again. So yeah, I say yeah. Let's not do that. I will call people out when they do it. I won't. And then you guys back me up on it though.
Okay, let me bring up something else. Now, when Stephen Bolin brought up that everybody who teaches evolution is a child abuser, and you agreed with him about that, do you see how ridiculous that is? When that's the accepted science,
I
that's the
apologize.
accepted
Well,
science.
oh, it's a it's okay. It's
Do you see how
Christian.
that's ridiculous when in
No,
every
because that's our
university in the world they're
right.
teaching evolution in multiple disciplines of science? And you're saying that everybody that's teaching evolution from whatever level of high school on up through college, postdoc, whatever, is a child abuser.
Well, yeah, because no, and see, I apologize for that because I know Christian, he believes in a special creation of, and you can correct, I mean, he'll correct, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say that there was a special creation. God used evolution, and then Adam and Eve were a special creation, which brought sin into the world. Da 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 da. So no, I don't think Christian is, because he does believe God created humans special. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
So apart from Christian, everybody else in the world who is teaching evolution is a child abuser.
I think to teach
You said
people.
that, and
I did,
Steven
yes.
said that.
I believe, and that's where I corrected myself because, yeah, I miss, yeah, I didn't do it because I don't believe because there's a lot of Christians who believe special creation and Adam and Eve. My belief is, and you can disagree, but if you teach that children have no eternal, um, what I say, value, worth, purpose, I think that's abuse. Now, that's just my opinion. Now we can agree if we see somebody take a baseball bat and hit a kid, that's abuse. We can both agree on that one. Um,
Okay, but we could also say that people who are homeschooling children on Kent Hovind DVDs, for example, we could call that child abuse
oh, they
because
do.
some people do and some
Right,
people don't. I
right.
try not to do that.
But do you
Um,
think it's child abuse? Do you think the kids on
no, because I think because kids have broken out of that relatively quickly, I think. When they get into high school, say, um, and they start seeing facts, scientific facts, they can break out of that relatively quickly, I think, as opposed to physical or mental abuse, which is actual real psychological, like psychological abuse.
okay, yeah, there's different
Those
studies.
things can last a lifetime, but I think you can break out of a creationist teaching pretty quickly if you come in contact with other influences. So,
Exactly, and
I wouldn't call that child abuse. I don't know about what Deviant would say about
but
that.
other people do, and I don't get all like, how dare you say that? I know people, and it could be you, it could be deviant. That's your opinion. I kind of expect that, but a positive note, there's 4 youth leaders in our college group. All of them came from non-Christian homes, not bad homes, but just non-Christian evolutionary homes, and 3 of them are actually leading. So it mostly goes the other way, but there are some people that that the gospel, that we're sinful, that we need a savior. It does click with them. One is actually headed to, oh, it's an Eastern Bloc country, or was an Eastern Bloc, sorry, on a mission trip um, next month. Yeah, so yeah, it goes both ways. I think, I kind of expect some people in this community to think that I'm a child abuser because I teach my child that God created him. Um,
Shouldn't we just stay away from that type of language, though, about people, about parents, and
um, I
unless there is real abuse, because it trivializes the real abuse that goes on in families, which is pretty common, actually. Psychological. Sorry,
Are you alright, Big Bad Mama?
uh,
sorry, I choked on an onion.
well,
Oh,
Um,
are
and
you
I
alright?
would agree. I would agree because there's far call them wings, whatever, far extremes of Christians, of atheists that we could probably group them both together and say, man, those kids would be better off not in those homes. Like the kid that ended up shooting up one of the schools that had the shirt Darwin Rolls or whatever. That there has to be some balance, no matter what it was. And I'm not saying that, but somehow that kid got off balance, and he probably would have been better off even if he was in another evolutionary, Darwinistic house. Something about his parents and that teaching, whatever.
but couldn't you just say that we're teaching them what you call misinformation as opposed to calling us child abusers? Which to me trivializes the term child abuse. And, because abuse is something that a parent does consciously, right? And if you're teaching evolution and you believe in evolution, why would that be abuse if you actually believe in it?
Oh, well, and then that doesn't help your position because there's people that think that you know I don't think extremes like burning their kid with a cigarette, but overly disciplining. is perfectly fine, and yeah, that's still abuse. So yeah, that's just one that I've seen so many people that
I mean,
man,
can you see how
my
I was upset by that though, Dan, when you're lumping me in with somebody that is burning somebody with a cigarette?
yeah, different degrees, and that's a good point too, because that's where I kind of like. And the first time you guys asked me to apologize was because Jen Anderson said, "Ask Dan why he called BBM a child molest." Oh well, the M word. Um, and it's like, why I wouldn't, and publicly, I've never even thought of you like that, BBM. I never even beating kids. You just seem like so um
I
so
haven't laid a hand on
mechanical. Yeah,
somebody
and
since
so
the 7th grade in a fight, except to, you know, in love.
I think I was like 5th grade. Yeah, 6th grade.
Oh,
They,
Oh, that went over my head. So no, and so yeah. So Big Bad Mama, I've never thought of you even raising your hand to a kid. Your personality just
Okay.
doesn't seem like you seem like almost a smart robot. And I'm not saying not a bad thing. No,
Thank you.
you're yeah. I mean, it is. I wish I was more like that. I get emotional, and it takes a while to get you emotional. Um, but yeah. So on the record, I've never thought of you that way.
Okay.
I
We'll
do have
we'll
a
let it
problem.
we'll
Yeah,
let it go with that. We'll let it go with that.
yeah. But if somebody can ask, I don't even know who Jen Anderson is. It seems like a ghost account. But
No,
no, he's not. He's
Jen's a real person. I think he's
yeah,
from Denmark.
yeah.
Um,
it's nothing to do
oh,
with
okay,
me.
so that might be why
Oh,
he miss. But then
right.
where did he hear it? Because I hadn't heard it on
Well,
the.
this was the day after you had written that in the chat, I think. And then I probably called you out on it that day that Jen's made the comments, is what I'm
Okay,
thinking.
and so he's
It's not a big
I
deal what Jen's did.
because if he spoke English, if it was good at English, yeah, that's to me, because that's like you're saying, you know, that the child abuse, I'm dumbing it down. To me, it's like a clicker in my head though. But the other ones, the P and the M, that's like I'll take your head off. So that's where if it was like you that said that, that I said the one
No,
thing.
I didn't say that you said that I had
No, and I know
said
you,
anything.
but I said if you said that, I'd go after you. It's like, why would you say that? Because
Right.
I know you and I think have the same yeah, same the degrees, and Mark said it wasn't the different, or it was the same degree abuse and the M and P word, but it's like no, I think it's like
No, he didn't say that. He said he would react the
that's
same
true.
to both, but he didn't say that they were both on the same level.
Okay,
I
that's
was
true.
there
And
for that. I was
yeah,
there for that
that's right.
conversation.
I kept asking, and I tried to ask the other way, and he might not just have understood.
No, he said as a father he would
Right.
react the same to both of those.
But I tried to
And
ask him if it was just out there, but I guess I did it. I didn't do
but
it
he
well.
ended up answering your question if you go back and listen.
Oh, okay. No, that's
After I said something about there's different degrees, and he did agree that yeah, there's different degrees. He just would respond the same way to both. But
okay. Good. Yeah, personally. Oh yeah. I mean, don't touch our kids. And women were even worse. They'll do it. I will just, like Mark said, it'll be done right in a second. I'm afraid a lot of women would be nice and slow. Um, but anyway, that's just me making a
You
joke.
bet.
Well, okay, so you you, you agree with me? Yeah, very cool. Well, I got to get out of here. I got a flat tire. I got to deliver to a tire shop. But
they're having a show.
who is?
Oh, and sorry, I didn't mean to start or anything.
Oh, Aiden. I mean, sorry. Aiden be mad. I called Gigi Aiden. And you guys know him. It's nothing. I wasn't dissing you, Gigi. I love you. No, I love you both. And I have fun fighting with Aiden. I hope he. Anyway, that's a different story. But Gigi, no, you're great. You have this. You have this show that I can come on. I can try to explain myself. and it's fun. I just wish you
Yeah,
guys
but
would like leave Aiden to like just a sentence or two, instead of so long. And I actually apologize because I was just playing. I was back at 20-year-old being Aiden too, and so that was obnoxious. And I'm sorry, Deviant, because I should have just let him. I should have gone and brushed my teeth or something. Well, because that's about how long it takes. About 15 minutes to do that, and that's about how long he talks. But anyway, that was good.
okay, good talking to you.
All right, thanks, DJ.
Take care.
Bye, everybody. God's best.
Bye bye.
Uh,
How do I get out of here? DJ, can you just kick me out?
okay.
And then I'll complain that you kicked me out. Just joking.
Okay. Bye.
I'm not. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Eh,
We worked it all out.
Oh,
that's good.
uh, uh,
Logan, are you okay?
yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
You should